It's Cloberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out. Poker. You know the game?
Cloberonimo!
Come get some.
It's Cloberin time! Cloberonimo!
This is no fantasy, no careless product of wild imagination. Oh, sorry. Well, my mind just goes there. I don't know, because I love this movies or whatever. I've got a good guest whom I will bring in and introduce in a moment. But first, I want to say welcome to you all. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Cloberin Times, issue number 439 on YouTube, of course. Number 1,439 overall. It's a wild card Wednesday night, and tonight, as the wild card can do sometimes, and that's why it's wild, is we got a little topic for you. I mean, you know, it's wild sometimes, which anything goes, and that means the topic goes sometimes. So we will, of course, get to that in a moment. But first, I want to thank you all for being here with me tonight. It is great to see you all. Big shout out to the great Mr. Brown's Alliance. She was a guest on his show earlier today, and I really appreciated that. A great host and great friends over there. And it's good to see you all here with us tonight. So let me welcome a very special guest whom I'm proud to have with me, who is, of course, a good friend of the show. And he is, of course, well, he's not only a good friend of the show, he is Cloberin Times' own music meister, the great Maximum Redstone. What's up, buddy?
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. It's good to have you. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Or we, as Raquel would say. Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir, Bob. And, or Max even. Yes, sir, Max even. Good to see you. And it's good to see all of you here with us tonight, everybody. I'm going to, let's see, we'll get going pretty quickly first. Let me do a few show notes and shout outs, shall we? Let's see here. Big thank you to Carlos from the Comics Mania podcast for joining, my good friend Carlos from the Mexican radio. Joining me Monday night. It was a lot of fun. I want to thank everyone who hung out with us, reviewing Alan Moore's masterpiece, Superman Annual 11, for the man who has everything on Monday Night Marcy Comics Talk. I appreciate that. And as for show notes, and then before that, of course, J-Man joining me on Earth B for our wonderful trip to the wacky world of Bob Haney. That was a lot of fun. And let's see, show notes. tomorrow night, the clubhouse will be back in session. It is, of course, Superman month on Cloberin Times, hence tonight's topic. But, of course, it'll be the clubhouse's business as usual. We'll have a Blake 7 episode review. We're beginning season 2 of Blake 7, which, of course, is the episode Redemption.
Space vehicle will be destroyed.
Space vehicle will be destroyed when devious-ness, and this Redemption is the name of the episode. We'll have a Star Trek Untold Voyages issue number 5 as our review, and much, much more clubhouse geekiness. And then Thursday night I'll be back. Thursday night I'll be back over there on the great Tom Connor's channel, Midnight's Edge After Dark, with that Augusta group. Always fun to hang out with them. That'll be before the clubhouse. And then Friday night, hanging out with the great J-Man on his extraordinary channel, and Sean, my good buddy, as we'll continue our ongoing mission of reviewing on Fearless Friday nights, reviewing Frank Miller's seminal Daredevil run, the run that just changed comics at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after that, I should be hanging out with Nicholas and the boys, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, my dear friend, and the Friday Night Comic Shop boys, comics geeking of some sort, and then, of course, Saturday night Star Trek. Same truck time, same Clubby channel, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, as all of my shows here on my channel are. 4 more episodes just ends, as we're just now getting started, that is, of Star Trek Voyager season 5. 4 more scintillating episodes.
The vast, vague, and vacuous crew of Voyager, will they get you? Will they take George for 48,000?
Let's not talk bad about Voyager. That's Raquel's job, you see. Anyway, so we've got that going for us. And now, let's see. I will start my shout-outies. First, of course, the great wrenches. Whether here or not, they get the shout-out. There is, of course, Eric K., the bronze renter of bronze. So he's the bronze renter of bronze. Yes, this announcement brought to you by the Department of the Redundancy Department. Chris Persia, the Vindicated Wrench of the Great White North. Evad Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Lord Thoth, God of the Wrench. Avon lives, long live the Legion, my good buddy. J-Man, the aforementioned Wrench Without Fear, partner in Crime on Earth B, and Legionnaire viewer extraordinaire. Maddie's Daddy, Thor from Vegas, wielder of French Mjolnir. Kal-El, the Super Wrench. Hey, buddy. Anti-outsider, the rascally Wrencheroid. And he has reports, I hear. Hungry Boy, ouch. Master Pony.
He's always hungry for something.
Tonight's guest, our own music master, Maximum Redstone, and Triple Bullwinkle, the great Larry. Oh, and I forgot one other show note. Sunday night, don't forget Sunday night geekery on the great Mark D with the Speech channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I'll be back on Monday nights. We're back on our 3 Mondays out of the month on J-Man's channel with our great Legion of Superheroes reviews. And now let me say some hellos to our dear friends who have shown up in the chat. Let's see whom we have up in here tonight. FKHC 2005, or Tim. AAA, good to see you. Penny, lovely Penny. Good to see you, Penny. Somebody's got to be there that I've already pointed out. Oh, Putin's cat, meow. What's up? Ironhide 84. It's been a dog's age, my friend. Good to see you. DJ Ronnie J. What's up? Brogu from my old hometown. RRTNZ says, listening while at work. Have we got to the part where Clobby admits he secretly loves Man of Steel? Oh, wait, sorry. I promise you I will keep that a secret.
Ooh, just a bit outside.
Yeah. No, in fact, if just for you, RRTNZ, I would never lie to you, so I'll never be saying that. But I'll be glad to talk bad about it again if you want. Hey, there's Mark D with us, see the chief engineer. And if you feel the free,
why am I not surprised to see you here?
There you are. Mark C, I should have got you to clip this show for me like you do for Nick, but I'm just kidding. But We didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. Well, no one thought of it. But anyway, pop in if you want to say hi later, if you feel like it, whenever you feel like, anytime you want. If you feel, if you're not busy. Joe Dog. Joe Dog says, I'm depressed tonight. I don't like Valentine's Day. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Joe Dog. Don't be depressed, buddy. I can't tell anyone not to be depressed, but look, I don't like it either. Hey, Son Lee, good to see you. I don't like it either, Joe Dog. But we like you, and we're glad to be here with DJ Play Nice. What's up? And we're gonna make up for it by just having a little fun and talking about cool stuff that actually has almost in a way a similar, like a Valentine's theme to it, actually. So we're gonna talk about a movie tonight, and we kind of set this up for you all. Hey, Tex. Yeah, Siegel's my great friend 1701 Tex is here.
As Vladimir Putin say about Valentine's Day, as appropriate, it is the one day I put not poison you.
Excellent. Well, it works for me. Great Caesar's ghost, indeed, Larry. All right, everyone. Well, it's Superman month after all. My buddy Max Redstone and I don't know how it really got started. I've just occasionally, I guess, mentioned once in a while my disdain for a certain film called Superman 2, Electric Boogaloo. And I guess I mentioned it a number of times, I suppose, right, Max?
Yes, and I alternately have have organically voiced my
a lot of people the thing is, Max, looks a lot of people anyone doing a show espouses opinions, and you're always going to put one out there someone isn't going to agree with. That's part of the gig, right? And
it's like first time you were like shot. You do not want to get shot again. You like the first time enough. Duh.
I think I'm beginning to know why his name is Redstone. He's kind of a commie. He's a commie.
Hey.
Well, you sound like one. You'll sound like Bolshevik. Can you see nuclear vessels?
Nuclear vessels?
Yeah.
Captain, it is Enterprise.
Enterprise. Mr. Scott. Okay, so anyway, come on, Clover. You have to admit Superman 2 is miles ahead of Man of Steel. Well, there you go. Show's over. Sorry, Max. He's got a good point. And now we have nothing to talk about because Man of Steel is so bad that Superman 2 is better. But, of course, it's better. I mean, because see, Superman 2...
Oh,
Chris,
Superman
2 actually... What?
Keeping the bar low so that can shine.
Well, yeah, but look, Superman 2 at least has Superman in it, whereas
Yeah.
Man of Steel doesn't. So, it's just almost not fair, right, to compare them. Anyway, so, folks, just to give you a little context to it, Superman the movie from 1978. I was a young lad of about 14 years old when I first saw it in December of 1978. And I went to the theater. Oh, there you go. You were busy. Adrian James. Good to see you. So I went to the movie theater, folks, to see that movie about 18 times. I think I lost track at 18, may have been more. And then, of course, when it was actually aired like on HBO or something, we actually had one of the early video VCRs. I recorded it and watched it a billion more times. In 1981, a sequel was released. We know a lot more about that sequel than any of us really did at that time. And so all I know is it was a sequel. All we knew is our waiting was paying off because we were finally getting to see them second. And so it opened. If I'm remembering correctly, it was summertime for season. Unlike it wasn't like at the end of the year. So I went the first night. I mean, again, obviously, when you love a movie as much as I love Superman the movie, that's just, that's big stuff. You can't wait. The only thing I could compare it to was the wait I had for The Empire Strikes Back the year before. The Empire Strikes Back, I wasn't disappointed. The week before Empire came out, they re-released Star Wars in the theater. It wasn't any New Hope until that. And by the way, it was just Star Wars. And then all of a sudden, the week when they re-released it, it was Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. But I'm like, what? Anyway, but so and I loved Empire Strikes Back. So I'm like, man, and then the year after that, it's going to be Superman 2. Oh my God. I can't believe it. Oh man, I'm so happy. Then I went to the theater to see it. First showing, of course. Well, let me see if I can put it to you like this. I was in such denial that there was anything wrong with it, that there was nothing wrong with it. I walked out trying to convince myself to talk myself into loving it. I loved it. I said this, and I had like one friend of mine who was a little bit older than me. That I talked to about it a little bit, and he liked it too, but he was like, we're kind of, So I went back the next day, and I was still, I like it. I mean, it is good. Isn't it good, everybody? It's good, isn't it? And then, by the way, just so you'll know, Max, it got good review. The reviews were, solid. Rex Reed even liked it. And back then,
both Siskel and Ebert loved it.
Sissy and Ebert liked it. Stuart Mitchell. So I'm like, yes, it is. It's really good. It's good. It is good. I like it. I love it just as much as the first one. So, like the first one, I kept going back. The first one got better every time I went back. I could have gone 100 times. So it didn't matter. This one, though, whew. Oh, my God. Richard Lester was well known for directing, I believe, some Beatles movies. And for the Salkinds, he directed the Three Musketeers and then the Four Musketeers, which was split up, into two movies, and they screwed him over, but he came back. So anyway, and I started reading some of the behind the scenes stuff. As you may or may not know, they could not do a novelization of either film because of something going on about over the script with the Mario Puzo and with the Salkinds. So what they did is they released a paperback book that had the cover from the first movie, but it was just like a making of book, and that's got a lot of info about it. And they released a couple of Treasury editions, formatted books, tabloid books about both movies, each one of them, And I would read stuff like that and things in Starlog and Fantastic and what have you, Fantastic Film and Famous Monsters of Filmland and this, that, and the other, all these things about it. And started learning about some of the problems behind the scenes and what went on, with Donner and all that stuff that we know. It's all well documented. We know it now. But at the time, that kind of information wasn't easy to get a hold of. So I didn't know why Richard Donner wasn't directing it at first. I didn't know who this Richard Lester guy was, but I did know that from get-go, what rubbed me the wrong way, and we can start. That's
a really good. That's a good place to start.
We're gonna get to you have a list of some things we're talking about, but I do know what rubbed me the wrong way was the score was weird. It was rescored. But before that, the opening crap, the recap was really weird. It had they couldn't show Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it, you don't know why back then. In 1981, I can assure you, I mean, unless you're in the movie industry, you had no idea what was going on because he wasn't there. And you have this scene where they showed Nod breaking a guard's neck and then them getting caught and then you're seeing the trial sequence is quite different and all this other stuff. I'm like, what the? So if you have let me see something. Hold on a second.
Hello, Stuart Mitchell and Ravenscroft.
Yes, you may. Let's see. I think I can click onto this here. Maybe I can't. I was gonna. Okay, well, I'll just copy it. I'll copy it and put it somewhere so I can read it better. Could you send a list of some stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I basically those are my notes.
Some talking points, right?
Those are my notes. I just sort
no, that's good. No, that's good.
Expanded them a little with
Oh yeah. No. That's very good. I mean, I'm going to put them somewhere where I can see them because I can't really see them on the twat thingy. Okay, so no, that's cool. I'm glad you did that. All right, so the introduction of Krypton, which was sort of a recap of what set everything up in the original film. I'm sure, as you know,
Yes.
which is really discombobulated. I understand they were trying to give people, just because it was a sequel, it was very sequely. They were trying to tell people what went on in the first film.
Mhm.
And like, obviously, when you've seen it 1,000 times, you didn't need that. But obviously, I was a kid. I wasn't, I'm not Joe Public, so I'm thinking, wait, well, I know all this. What the hell? But then they show these scenes that weren't there, because remember, at this point, we hadn't seen the extended TV cut, but once I think the extended TV cut aired not too long before that, so it had some added scenes, but it didn't have any of this.
Okay. Like none of those? I mean,
Well, it had, for example, in the extended TV cut of the original film, the ABC cut, which was 2 nights, there was some stuff on Krypton, like the guard traveling going after to arrest.
yeah. Superman 2. I thought it was like, wait a second.
No, Superman 2. No, I'm talking about the first
yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
the first one had a scene. The A.K. Roberts, hello there. The very first, the first movie had an ABC cut. It ran
Yeah.
2 nights. Oh yeah, hello there, Penny. Good to see you, Penny.
I did not see the. I only saw the Superman 2 ABC cut. I didn't see the original.
Oh, really?
The
Theatrical?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
anyway,
I saw it, and then I saw it. Whatever website it's on. Like I saw it 3 years ago again.
Right. Okay. I got you. Well, needless to say, we were ecstatic when we got the ABC cut, because it had a lot of stuff added into it.
Yeah.
There was this one sequence that was not in the theatrical cut of the original film. I'm talking first movie, where the Kryptonian guard is going to arrest Jor-El. They send him to go arrest, and they had a couple of extra bits.
Okay.
And they showed him like he's like, every now and then, while everything else is going on, it cuts to him, riding some kind of stingy to go after Jor-El. Like, they cut to him once in a while, and he's on his way to go get him, which is not in the second movie. In the second, it opens up with recap, and it shows us something we don't see in the first, which is the villains
stealing
getting caught.
Yeah, breaking the neck of the Gray Spectre Man.
They break the guy's neck, and then they get caught.
Alert.
Yeah. And then, since there's no you can't show you can't show.
Yeah.
Brendan, you 3 criminals are a bunch of assholes, and we're going to send you into the Phantom Zone, basically.
I mean, the Superman, the theatrical cut, the Lester cut. When you watch the Donner cut, the lack of Marlon Brando makes it seem kind of antiseptic by comparison.
Yeah. But this here, though, see, here's the thing, but you gotta understand, I'm still seeing this movie through the lens of a fucking, sorry, I said fucking, folks, but plucking. A freaking, what was I? 17-year-old, okay? A 17-year-old who loves Superman and loves the original movie. So I'm going to be, at this point, it's still, this stuff, the original film treated the character with so much respect. Now, again, I grew up loving the Batman TV show, for example. But I still, at that point, I didn't, as much as I love Adam West, I didn't want Superman to be campy. I didn't want Batman to be campy either. I was done with that. I liked it. And of course, now I'm a lot older. It's different. But back then, I was like, the first movie, man, everyone really respected it. Everyone loved Superman. It was treated like a legend. Otis notwithstanding, it was a very serious film.
Yeah.
And I wanted the Superman 2 to be like that. He's fighting the villains, Phantom Zone villains, even though it wasn't Zaxor and this other Jaxor or Jaxor or whatever. It was Zod, but okay. Claude Salling. Hey, I'm okay with it. So I thought, this is going to be so cool. He's going to fight the Phantom Zone villains. And immediately, you got this opening scene where he breaks the guy's neck. And you 3 criminals are all a bunch of dickheads, and we're going to send you into the Phantom Zone. But, that bit. And what's really cornball, the dialogue and the direction was really curt and cornball. Yeah. And I'm like, this doesn't feel like the same kind of gravitas that Richard Donner was. I mean, that opening scene, dude, of the original film, when when they're on trial, is brilliant. And it's scary.
Now you must decide, Jor-El. You and you alone.
And you alone will be held responsible by me.
You and your ass.
You, and one day, your ass.
I think one of the stipulations we can agree on is the biggest villain of these two movies is Salkinds.
Well, they hired Lester, but yeah, Lester's just also the wrong fit. I mean, look, I don't know who would have been the right fit other than Donner, but yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, Donner wanted to shoot more epic scenes, which would have been more money, and apparently they had the negative pickup deal at the end where the studio was going to buy it back from them, and there was no one that they couldn't alienate. I mean, no one.
yeah,
Well, except Christopher Reeve, but it's like
no, absolutely.
and
So
Marlon Brando. I mean, he made almost $20 million on the first movie for
for very
what
little.
for like yeah.
But I guess look, even though look, since shotguns are idiots, this movie, the same movie. Let's just say they didn't cast Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that lent a little. I mean, that was a big name in the '70s, The Godfather. So
Oh yeah.
it lent some credibility that may have gotten some initial butts in the seats. But let's just say, for sake of argument, it'd have been some other really good actor, and it would. No, I mean, not big as Brando's biggest Brando, but they're someone good that was well known enough. The movie would have had the same box office legs
Oh yeah.
because the movie was. I mean, Brando. I guarantee you, even though it gave it some gravitas with some people, it was the fact that everybody was blown away when they went to see it, and word of mouth turned it into a super one of the biggest movies of all time.
Yeah.
And Brando didn't do that.
No, it was. I mean, it was a decision made at the time for the time. I mean, Brando was coming off of. Had he done? I mean, he done Godfather at least, and he was like he was the
He's a household name. I mean, there's no question about it. So, but it's already starting out clunky. Then we're getting here's another thing, and then I'm going to ask you and let you take us down a little bit some of the stuff. But here's another thing. You've got that, all right. Here's where we kind of start off on the wrong foot. That cornball stuff with some of the redoing of the clunkiness of that whole scene, which is really not well done. In addition to the theme, which had been what's that guy's name now?
Ken Thorne.
Ken Thorne, thank you.
No.
Had and again, look, I know, I guess it had to be done. Who had
he recomposed John Williams' material.
Exactly. So it was just not good. I mean, to me, it did not sound right. I mean, I guess I'm particular about my John Williams. So already, even back then, that was one of the things that started nagging me, even the first time I saw it. And then you had the opening credits, which were interspersed with scenes that were from the first film, which was I thought that was a little schlocky, but okay, it's fine. So now I'm going to stop where I am. And I'm going to let you start off.
Well,
talking about some of that.
Musically, I mean, again, this because my basis for approaching it is, I saw it for the first time on VHS I think the first we had two RCA Select Vision, and like the first one was really fancy. It had wood paneling on it and the wireless remote. So, I just it sort of like burned into my head the first time. The Ken Thorne music, and then I just sort of listened to it over and over and over and over again, and it's one of those things where neuroplasticity, where it's built a trench in your brain for me, and I really like the majestic nature of what Ken Thorne did, like with the introduction of Krypton and kind of with the opening credits. I mean, because I'm a photographer, so I like the scenes of Metropolis. Just like even though there's like one or two of them, that's it. They're showing the skyline. It's like really really cool for me. But yeah, when I mean, it is what it is. They got Marlon Brando. He is Jor-El, and the trial scene it seems very antiseptic by comparison. I I think but yeah, I am not I am not disapproving of the Ken Thorne music. No.
I hate it. I hated
Well,
it, man. And
okay.
again, now I
Okay.
hear it when I watched it again recently. I was like, it's I don't know. It really bothered me at the time. Now it's not quite as annoying, but it's not on a level with the first film.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same music,
Yeah.
so it's great music still. Yeah, but
Yeah.
so you got a lot of script problems here. Now, again, by the way, I want you to know I don't
Yeah.
defend the Donner cut. I mean, this is
No.
completely separate from the Donner cut. I love Richard Donner,
Mhm.
but and cut or not, it appears to me that his whole basic story probably needed to be reworked. For example, if he didn't leave the project, I would have hoped he would rewrite, because there were things that he did that Donner, I mean, that they both did. They were the same. There are not that
Yeah.
many. If you think about it, there are some differences, but
Yeah.
most of the differences are just scenes here and there.
Yeah. It's a lot, a lot of it is reworking.
Yeah. For example, there are a couple ideas that Donner wanted to do where he wanted the Phantom Zone villains to throw the moon out of orbit.
Oh,
That was one idea.
okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that we were reading. You read about in something like that making of book and some other ones. He wanted that. There was another one where he had a scene where Superman faces off against the baddies without his powers at some point.
Ooh.
Which is really, I'm not too thrilled about that. That's again, here's the whole. Either forget about which cut, because they both do it. Him giving up his powers for any. I mean, look, villains are supposed to, when Superman gets weakened, villains are supposed to cause it, not his own narcissism and ego, and not his own. Superman and would never give up his powers for just to get married, because he's gone too far with the powers now. We find out later in comics and stuff that he doesn't. He just finds a way to get along, to live with Lois with his powers and all that stuff. So the very concept, it had not been, they hardly ever really dealt with it that much in comics before that, other than imaginary stories. And I don't know why David and Leslie Newman and Richard Lester and Richard Donner and all these other people were so obsessed with him giving up his freaking powers.
Yeah, I think it would have been a bigger challenge for him to live with,
Yes.
for them to maintain status quo.
Yes. So we move along, and there are a couple of scenes that really that are in the Lester cut that aren't that bad. For example, I don't mind the whole. It's goofy because of the way it's filmed and shot and dialogued, but the whole Paris, tower bit, the hydrogen bomb. It's silly, but you do need stuff like that in a Superman movie.
Yeah, I know you need it because you need him to. You need him to. I mean, they need a nuclear detonation to get a.
But that's another thing. Freeing the way they free the Phantom Zone villains was idiotic. But go ahead.
Yeah, I like when I watched it. It's like, yeah, these guys are stumbly and bumbly, and so are the cops. It's like, I don't know. Maybe these are like Otis. Maybe these are the people that Otis came from.
Otisburg,
like, yeah. It's like, oh my God, it started. But for me, like the last 20 seconds, like right when he's descending into the to get the elevator, that little visual effect there, that part really sold it for me. Nothing else.
Me and my monkey. Hey there. By the way, it's interesting. Something we talk about right now in today's culture about when it comes to comic book projects applied back then. Say they always have people, even in some of the good movies, who don't know shit about comics. And it's interesting that there was a quote by the legendary DC Comics editor Julius Schwartz, who at the time and for many years was in charge of everything, all things Superman at DC. He was asked about various parts, and he liked the movie. Wasn't like really ragging on him, but someone asked, "What kind of input did you guys have with the movie people?" He said, "Well, and he said, they were nice, and they'd come. We talked to them sometimes, but we didn't have any kind of input to the script, and he said, why would we? What do we know? We just write comics for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly, because no comic book writer would. First of all, Julius Schwartz, and he's a great guy. He was a legend in DC Comics. This is a guy who started before he went into DC Comics. I mean, he was like a manager for various science fiction writers, including Ray Bradbury. I mean, he was a very creative and very knowledgeable dude. He would not allow Superman to give up his powers like that. Hey there, Don. What's up, buddy? And secondly, here's more important, almost as important as the idiocy of him giving up his powers is how you get the Phantom Zone villains free. And a nuclear explosion in space, or in this case, a hydrogen bomb, was supposed to be a nuke. Turns out to be a hydrogen bomb. Or moronic. They cracked in space.
No, I think it would have been a better plot point. Just thinking of.
I know how they should have done it.
If Lex Luthor.
Thank you, because it was like where I was going.
Yep.
What you do, and here's the thing: it was already baked into this plot because you had Luthor escape jail. Silly though it was, he escapes jail, which is fine. Luthor's supposed to escape jail.
Yep.
And then he goes up there, and what does he do? He fiddles with something, and he frees the villains. Boom.
Yep.
That's all you have to do. This bullshit about a hydrogen bomb. Again, even in the theater the very first time, I was like, "Are you crazy?
Another one?
What?
Seriously?
Why a hydrogen bomb? Bombs and shit go out in space. Why? I mean, first of all, they're not. See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is why Lester's a dumbass. That thing's not less. Look, I thought the mirror effect was kind of cool, if a bit silly, because in the rocket in the first movie when it's flying through space and they go and you see passes the mirror thingy.
Yeah.
That's not how the Phantom Zone works. That's not how any of this works.
It's like, we are putting you in this Phantom Zone. It is living death, except
they're not flying in space.
What if they come to like a supernova or a black hole or something?
Yes, so they're not in space, dumbasses.
Yeah.
So that was crap that I guess maybe only a comic book writer would know, and a comic book writer would find a way to get them out of the Phantom Zone without that horse shit. You said, why would, there's someone saying, why would the Phantom Zone be orbiting Earth? It's not. It's so stupid. You can't get out of the Phantom Zone like that. So again, minor to Joe Blow average, as long as they get him out of there, but very normie kind of writing. It's just stupid.
That part really seems, I mean, it's tough. I mean, because thanks to the Salkinds, being thanks to the Salkinds, it's like you watch the two and you realize there are parts of this movie which are seriously reworked, and then
J.T. Kirk. In fact, I'm finally, after all these years, going to tell both Mr. Donner. I love Donner too much. Now I'm just going to save this for Mr. Lester and the people who wrote the script. Mr. Lester
is because you're a dumbass.
Well, a double dumbass on you.
That's what you are. He's gone, right, Lester? Both of them are, right?
Well, yeah. I just it's it feels constructed, but it's like I said, it's like that last kind of last 20 seconds, like right when he flies down.
But we gotta get the super chat right here. Thank you, RR. You're too kind. I mean, where's my damn? Oh, yeah. Thank you, RR, for the super chat. You're too kind, my friend. It's very generous of you. He says, Clobby, giving up his powers. This was about him learning the hard way. You're not going to be able to sell me on this one, but I appreciate the super chat. You're very kind. He said, why he can't live as an ordinary man. For me, the concept works. Reeve utterly sells his despair when he realizes his folly. Well, it just doesn't work for me because we've already seen that he can live as Superman with Lois and marry somebody.
Like, Jarrell, move over. This is your Uncle Red, Kal-El.
Yeah.
You are being a dumbass.
Yeah.
You're giving up your powers for a piece of scooch. A nice piece of scooch.
Not even a nice one. It's Marco Kidder, let's be honest. It's not like it's Terry Hatcher or anything. Am I right? No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't big on Margot. You like Margot?
Well, yeah. Then there's like
I don't know, man.
you notice the inconsistencies. Like some of them, she looks slender, but like China dollish. And then the other one, she's like
kind of haggard, a little haggard. Professor
Wow.
R2, it's good hanging. Good to see you. Good hanging with you, Mr.
Someone's
Brown.
been hanging out at Mike's bar in between scenes, but
Yeah. Professor R2, good to see you, buddy. It was nice hanging you out with you. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, RR. I really appreciate you. I hate to be contrary with your very generous super chat, but I'm sorry. I mean, it may work for you. It doesn't work for me. Not Superman. Not someone as wise as Superman doing something like that. I just don't buy it. I mean, he did it happen in the movie, so whether I buy it's irrelevant. It happened, but I don't like it. It makes me sick.
As his writers would say, maybe one day you get some traumatic brain damage. You watch it again, it looks a little better. 12-year-old.
I think we're going to get a call from the Russians soon. This is starting to be disturbing now. I think you're going to get Mr. Putin's going to say, "What is he? He's on this damn talk show all the time. What's he doing? What's he listening to?"
Let's move forward just a little.
Let me answer this question here from Steven.
Go ahead.
Says, was the woman who attempted to shield her baby in the stroller while the radio tower was falling towards them also a Kryptonian, or was she just stupid? I think she was just a mother that wasn't fast enough to move her kid. Maybe she's like, I personally would think she'd like pull the kid away, but I don't know. That's a good question, Steve. Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that question.
But so like in the first scene, in the Lester cut, remember she's already looking at Clark and doing the drawing of Superman. It's like,
yes,
and I feel that is a little early for. It's like, yes, I understand the oh my god, you're Superman thing. So, but it's like, because what does she do? Like a minute later, she jumps out of Perry White's office window in a stunt sponsored by JVC.
Yeah. I hate that scene so much. I mean, it's so, see, that's the camp I hate.
Yeah.
By the way, there was an hilarious, there was a magazine called Plop DC. It was a humor mag. And they had this scene where they showed Lois saying, "I'm going to prove you're Superman." And she jumps, he's sitting there typing, "What do you mean, Lois?" And she jumps out the window. And the next panel, Perry comes and said, "So where's Lois?" And he said, "She jumped out the window."
Like, hello, Don Ranger.
Hey, Don. So anyway,
it's like, yeah, that's like, I don't know if is that life imitating art or what. I just did not like that.
Yeah, I don't like any of that. By the way, there's precedent in the comic books. I'm sorry, let me see. Said, I thought another agree to disagree. Well, we have a lot of those, don't we, R? But that's okay. He gives up his powers and whatever happened to men. And yes, he did, because he committed what he considered to be murder for a different reason and a better reason than that one. Same ultimate effect. There's no longer a Superman to protect Earth.
Yeah, it's like,
well, that's a less selfish reason, RR, because he did it because he broke his rule about killing.
Kal-El, if you go to Amsterdam, there are certain special workers which are quite legal there.
Let's sail into history. All right. As an adult contemplating the speed that Phantom Zone bubble traveled post Krypton's destruction would be at near light speed, and how's it also towards Earth? You got me, Chris, but you're right, buddy. And happy Valentine's Day to you, by the way, Penny. I hope you had a wonderful one, dear.
So,
but RR. It's just the thing where, like I said, him giving it up was pretty selfish. Whether you agree with him doing it or not, and for the man who has everything, he did it because he felt like he broke his own rule, and he gave his powers up to punish himself because Superman's not allowed to kill. But anyway, so that's the comic book I reviewed this just this past week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, it's a story that was also, again, that Superman was being ended for that era. We're never going to see him again. It was kind of what they call an Elseworlds or an imaginary type story. But anyway, and he was punishing himself for killing.
Now,
Because,
yeah.
but anyway, go ahead.
So, I mean, do we have anything else? But Lois jumping out the window.
Yeah, that's just patently absurd. It's a scene that
Okay.
it's one of the reasons why I have so many problems with the Lester cut in general, is because this is one of your big ones. I'm glad you brought it up because I might have ended up forgetting about it. When you, again, I don't mind humor in any of these movies. When you put camp, like I say, camp is wonderful in the Batman TV show. I wouldn't have it any other way. That show's silly, and we all know it's supposed to be. All right, Tex, thanks for being there, brother. Good to see you. That show is supposed to be that way. But the first movie, Superman treated, yes, I know Otis is goofy, sure. But
Yeah.
Superman's played dead serious. He's played straight. He's not a goofball. He's not like, he doesn't talk like he's like a 13-year-old like the characters in some of the Marvel movies do and all that kind of stuff. He talks and acts like Superman. And everyone else is supposed to as well. And when you put idiotic scenes like that in another one that came in later, but a little bit later, that I'll just go ahead and mention as well, that one, and then when he walks across the street and the cab hits him, and that scene, I'm like, oh, man, it doesn't even affect him. And she, wait a minute, what about all that stuff about her thinking he's Superman? Didn't she see him get hit by a cab? That didn't ice it right there. It's
yeah.
You don't do that, and that's why you're undercutting the credibility of your movie. And there were other scenes like that, and it's like those two scenes I really hate, and the Niagara Falls stuff too. So next we got what? What do we have next? Niagara Falls.
Well, no.
Where you at
my next is like Lex. Lex escapes from prison and he learns
Okay.
about Zod. In the Lester cut, of course, he learns from his mom. Learns about everything from the mom's
Susanna
crystal.
York.
But then
Yes.
in the Donner cut, you have Marlon Brando, and he sells it. I will say this. You cannot get around. You can't get around the fact that Marlon Brando shot this material, and maybe he made almost $20 million from the first movie alone, which was
he did shoot a lot of stuff. Later, maybe.
So, but yeah, the Donner cut really, the Donner cuts not only the use of Marlon Brando, but I know it's a little pecky even thing, but the fact that they put a bit of green in the Fortress of Solitude. I don't know. It's they decorated just a bit differently. It's a little bit nicer. It's not scruffy. No style at all.
I expect better manners from my guests.
General Zod.
So yeah, I'm not. I was never big. Look, I love the movies, but I never was too fond of Crystal Krypton anyway.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that the Fortress. I mean, I prefer the comic book one, but then I wouldn't I?
Mm.
So
true. So the next thing I have is the reveal. I mean, in the Lester cut, you have the whole thing about her jumping into the river. That's her attempt in the Lester cut, which is
the whole Niagara Falls stuff was all that's all Lester cut. Which, by the way, I mean, it's I didn't mind any of that stuff until we got to the. I mean, it was silly, but to the thing you're talking about, the water, the rapids.
Yeah. I thought you were Superman, but
sorry.
So the next thing I have is the reveal. And in the Donner cut, they're getting ready for dinner. Clark's wearing a tux, and she's getting ready, and
right.
All of a sudden, she pulls out a gun. She pulls out a revolver.
Good night, Penny.
Good night, Penny. So all of a sudden, she pulls out a revolver, and
yes.
But the thing about it is, I like the Lester cut. I like more because because of the whole rapids thing. Sorry, man. Oh man, I'm so stupid. Yada yada. And then it's like, oh, where's my brush? And then this thing just happens. And whereas in the Donner cut, she's like she's convincing him to like, let's see your stature this way. You're always slumped over. Yada yada. It's like, and in both in both cuts, when the reveal is obvious at that moment, you see he takes off the glasses, and also his stance, his physiology changes a little. And it's like, but I feel that in the Lester cut, he's still fighting it just a little bit, and then he just lets it go. And then you see him right there. It's like he goes from
Yeah.
to being Superman, even though he's still in a sweater.
Yes. Well, this is why, remember, for anyone thinks this is not a either or when it comes to Donner or Lester cut. I have problems with both cuts because there's a fundamental story that runs through both of them that, in my opinion, was not the best idea for a story. The best idea, and it was a great idea for him to be fighting the Phantom Zone villains. Great, wonderful, at its core, great. The Lois Superman romance, you can have it, but the way they handled it really, really undercuts and kills the movie for me. Either cut, but there's actually more. I hate to say it because I love Richard Donner. There's dumber stuff in the Donner cut than there are. Almost that's equal because they're both dumb. There's so many dumb things in both of them, really.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I can do that. The original cinematic.
They are.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that while Max is talking. I'll go make that thing.
I mean, I can just jump to the conclusion is that the way things transpired and the way the Salkinds tried to get it done and the way they ended up getting it done, and I mean they got it done, and they got a quality movie. However, you have these two versions which are they're like incompatible transplant material.
Yeah.
So the next
go
scene,
for your next one. I'm gonna make a poll.
The next scene is Zod and company meeting the sheriff J. W. Pepper,
the old planet Houston. Actually, we got to cover something before that though.
Oh, okay.
The villains escape, and then now they're on the moon.
Yeah,
was there the moon bit?
Was there really a difference in those scenes?
No. Like I said, we're here to talk about the Lester cut, though. I mean, Donner cut. We talk about that when pertinent about the differences. The moon scene. Again, that's look the effects the way they were back then. You can't complain about the effects. I mean, you can. They're not horrible. Like I say, Donner had this whole deal where he wanted them to throw the moon out of orbit, and Superman has to go get it, and then they go and cause trouble. But that was an idea. It wasn't necessarily. I don't know how close they were to making that happen. But so they go and they kill the. Again, another thing. This is not. I don't know that in the Superman movie, even in 1981, you should necessarily show murders. I mean,
I mean,
it wasn't like Zack Snyder, but
they are villains. So,
well, yeah, it's fine. I'm saying it wasn't gruesome or anything, but they were killing. It's not like we're talking about Pat Snyder or anything.
I think the primary mechanism of the moon scene was like, oh my god, they realize they have powers. They have powers here that they didn't have on Krypton. And
they also had sound on the moon.
Well, yeah. Well,
they could talk on the moon.
I'm creating a field of air and pressure around me. Superman. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was much of a difference. If any, I mean, I think maybe the when they offed the last astronaut in the capsule, I think that it's like maybe that was a little bit rougher, but I think they were pretty much both similar.
Yep. Okay, here we go. We'll let everybody vote if they would.
So.
Actually, I'm not sure how I would vote on this question because I'm here basically just to talk. We're mentioning the Lester cut because it's pertinent to the Donner cut in a sense because you really wouldn't have either one without the other because of the shit that happened with the Salkinds. Yeah. So they go to the moon. They kill the astronauts and they heard about the whole planet Houston. And so next they go to California. So they just land. At first, here's another example. You got little goofy things like they land and they They
And
see the
General
dude
Zod walks on water,
walks on water, and the guy sees him and he swears off
coffee, or what,
liquor or whatever, or
whatever.
whatever he's drinking. Right, goofy. But the snake, what's her name, picks up the snake and it bites her. Ow!
Yep.
Wait a minute. What do you mean, ow? I don't know. There's no
Yeah.
ow. You
Oh,
could like
yeah. I never thought about that.
you could. I mean, you could have a building thrown on you, so I don't think a snake bite hurts you. But again, that's again goofiness.
Yeah.
So they use their heat vision to start to discover their powers and what's not.
Yep.
They go and what's it? All right, you hippies, get your butts off the road.
Yep.
They
Now
got
they
stairs.
Zod and
Chef
crew
Pepper.
meet
Chef
now.
D.W. Pepper.
This is one of the ones where the Lester cut does win, because Clifton James plays
I love him.
J.W. Pepper. He only has 2 scenes, maybe 3.
Yeah, you're right. That some bitch give me an order.
Hey, Dwayne, so you got to kick some ass if you're going to be a peacemaker.
Man.
It's like he's such a character, but the way it's edited in the Donner cut, it's like we get a bit short. It's like he gets shortchanged. So do we.
Yeah. Now here's why I have a problem with this. This whole look, it's all pretty goofy, but like I said, I never hold the effects against anybody. It's practical effects. It's tough to do that kind of stuff. That's never a problem. Not one bit of it. So I don't mind any of that stuff. In fact, it's ambitious when you think about it. I mean, they're trying to make it look like these people have Superman level powers and they don't have any kind of CG or any sort of kind of crap. So
crude noisemaker.
West Cagle. Yeah.
West Cagle.
So this funny stuff, it's all very quotable.
Yeah.
A lot of funny stuff. Now, here's my biggest problem with Lester in this bit, and this is not in the theatrical cut.
Okay.
This is in the Lester ABC cut. I don't know if you've seen that.
Like I said, it's been 3 years since I've seen it.
It's one thing to have them killing the astronauts, but they murder a child in the in the Lester TV cut.
Yeah.
Hey, J.T. Kirk, what's up, buddy? A Clobby cut would be the whole thing would be cut, but it would just be watch the original. But
yeah.
So watch the first movie. But anyway, they murder. I mean, they flat out murder a boy.
Yeah.
He goes to ride off to go get help, which why they would care about that, I don't even know. It doesn't make any sense why they would care the kid right now.
The young English child who lives in the Idaho town.
Yeah. Please let my daddy down. He rides across. He rides way out in the distance and then tags him with a siren and his, but he was only a boy. He goes, he would never be a man. Like, holy I'm see why you cut that out of theatrical. I don't know why you're dumb enough to put it back in the TV version, but
well, you need to put some filler in there.
I remember when I saw that part, I'm like, oh Jesus, no! Did they just kill a kid?
Let's just hold hands.
Hold hands, but all that stuff's funny.
Yeah,
I mean, I love Sheriff Pepper. Deputy W. Pepper. He came straight for the James. He says, I got enough problems down in the swamp with that English secret agent, Mr. Bond. Now I got to deal with superpower villains. Oh, who's that? Yeah, so I love that guy. I mean, he's always he's like he's from New York or something. He's always playing. It's like they saw him in the Bond movie. He goes, "Hey, come be that here with us."
Yep.
Come played Sergio Pepper. It wasn't. Well, they didn't say it was D.W. Pepper, but they didn't say he wasn't either. So yeah, he was great.
I mean, yeah.
But okay, so you have the whole planet Houston with the guy from Star Wars there saying who said Earth, the whole planet Earth. Remember he told Zod, he said, don't try and frighten us with your sorcerer's ways. General Zod.
That's oh yeah, that is that guy. I mean, because
and Zod said, I find you're like a faith disturbing.
Like you wonder why there were like all these Blake 7 guys getting like promotions, because they're shooting at Pinewood.
It was filmed at Pinewood.
So
all kinds of British people in this movie. Yeah. Yes, and so he's force choked him. Zod said, I find you like a faith disturbing. Oliver Belamonte. What's up, Oliver?
But they have
so now we're at where we at. We go back to okay, this is where I think he confronts it. They have a big fight.
I think the fight scenes,
which is fine.
The fight scene and the surrender in East Houston was, I think they're pretty much the same.
This is, of course,
mean-
here's another problem, though, dude. Now, this is
Yeah.
both Donner.
Mhm.
Well, the Donner cut condenses in different ways, but I mean, this is Lester, where Lester's very hacky.
Okay.
You have this scene, but you're intercutting the passage of time poorly. And they're like, it's not like a lot of directors do this, and it always aggravates me. The goings on between Lois, because all right, let's say
Yep.
at some point with those villains, you cut back and they have the whole scene that we just talked about where I'm not sure which comes first. I just watched it again the other day. That shows how my memory is. But you had the big reveal where, and by the way, we should backtrack to that for 1 second. Lois is a nag and he falls in love with her always bugged me because she's not showing respect. She finds out who he is and she should respect his freaking privacy. I don't care if you're a reporter or not, because all of a sudden when he finally reveals, she goes, "I'm sorry." No, you're not, bitch. So,
I'm sorry.
I mean,
this is great. You're an investigative reporter. This is what you do.
Yeah, you're not sorry, and now you got to keep my secret, right? I'm gonna have to go learn how to do a Vulcan mind meld for the end of the movie. But anyway, so they find out, and she finds out, and then they're just gonna go fly off and find. And so somewhere interspersed with that fight is them flying out to the fortress.
Yeah,
and having their conversation. They're getting to know each other. They don't spend that much.
Kal-El's taking a PTO day.
Right. He's just taking the time off. They're not watching the news, apparently. He gives up his powers. They do they play around. They have the whatever, Jamie Harbert. So they become, that. By the way, how in the hell did they get from the fortress to a car?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like.
By the way, I love how the lazy ass Lester used footage of that green
from the first
original film. Yeah,
the auto crash car.
Let's use the same footage. What the hell? It's a green car, whatever. Yeah. So they use this. They managed to get from the fortress.
You got a Hertz rent-a-car.
Well, that's quite a walk, dude. It's quite a hike, right?
What?
I mean, he and Lois, both,
and how she's dressed,
trucked it back to yeah. So we don't know. I guess he's got some kind of. I mean, no, he doesn't, because nothing works in there. No power. But anyway, he just gets back. I don't know if they have enough power for one beam out, and he has a teleportation device. They end up in a car back heading towards 3 months later. No kidding, Professor. And then I mean, they should have shown a passage of time, because when they get to the bar with the stupid ass bully scene, which is again both Donner and Lester are guilty of that scene. So nobody's.
This one's just a minute steak.
I hate
your seat's in there.
Your seat's in there, Four Eyes. I just hate that scene. It's just unnecessary. It's just time waster.
Yeah, and, I mean, because it's like, what's been like 2, maybe 3 days.
Yeah, your seat's in there, Four Eyes. Keep it on the flame rock. This is just a minute steak. So after he beats, he kicks Clark's ass, and he's gonna have to get Bruce Wayne to show him how to fight. So we get the scene. We go back. We get the scene. In the president's office. And
I mean, there's right before that, there's you see in the Lester cut, they're cutting their faces into Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah, there's a scene where they're flying. They have the special create faces on Mount Rushmore vision,
which is actually kind of cool.
It was ridiculous. They just flew by it and blasted it with their eye beams and changed the way I don't know. That's silly.
Okay. It's a little, but
that's Lester idiocy to me. I hate shit like that.
But I think it's a little bit. Well, I don't know, because I'm sure they had to improvise something for the Donner cut, because he's knocking down the Washington Memorial. It's like,
but that was really bad. That's and then another more Donner idiocy that the sculptor vision. Of course, he gave them stupid power. I don't like the pointing beam telekinesis powers either. It's stupid. I hate it. So they go to the White House and they attack there. They take over, and again, it's interspersed with them. Lois and Clark's crap.
Well, by the time you know, I mean, you know, you got Marlon Brando, you might as well use him. So I like the Donner cut, you know, more than, you know, you know, I like Jor-El trying to convince him. Not it, not,
Don't give your powers up, a-hole.
yes. So,
Basically.
but I mean, I like the Donner cut. I like the Donner cut battle outside the White House. I mean, outside the Oval Office.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a while. Is it that much different?
They have a few more scenes. It's like Nan takes a rocket in the back. You know, when General Zod pulls one of the army guys through the window, he like takes his M16 and he shoots a couple guys. He's like laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
right. Good night, JT.
Night, JT Kirk.
So anyway, we get to the point where this is my point about some of the time compression.
Yeah.
He says when he sees him on TV and, you know, he goes, "You for force, Superman, come to me, Superman.
Who is
If you
this
dare."
Superman?
So when he's yelling on TV, right? Yeah. Clark asks the guy, goes, "Here?
Who?
When?"
When?
He goes, "When? Where the hell have you been, Mac?
Living on
a desert island?
You know, kind
Living on
of.
a desert island?" So in other words, implying that this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
And apparently the whole world, the president has time to confer the leaders of the world. So there you go. You've got, it's been a while and Clark and Lois have been clueless.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they're sitting in the Oval Office. It's like, you are the master of all use today, as I was yesterday, and the day before.
Yeah. So Luther breaks in. That was
Yep.
kind of a fun scene.
Yeah.
Because what do you want?
Well, General, the world's a big place. Fortunately, my
needs are small.
What do you want? Australia.
And then in the extended cut, it was Cuba. Later,
well, that was well,
yeah.
Well, that was a little bit later, but
later in the office. So, Luther does that, but in the meantime, Clark decides to walk down the street to the fortress.
5 minutes later.
Yeah. He hitchhikes. He can't hitchhike. No one will pick him up.
He doesn't hitchhike. It's like
so, but he just walks the 30 blocks or whatever to the freaking. I'm glad he parked that thing next to
walk 500 miles.
Yeah, so that's quite a walk without superpowers, baby.
You know, I again.
Yeah, 1,000 miles to the closest human settlement of the fortress. Yeah,
it's like
so he ducks back.
You know, again, Kal-El regains his powers. We have we have Marlon Brando. You know, why not use him one more time? And this is something I do like about the Donner cut, because it's, he sells it one last time. Brando sells it one last time, and it's not only kind of eloquent than just finding the green crystal. It brings the events. Actually does do a decent job of bringing the events of the first movie around full circle.
Yeah. I got to find my copy of the Donner cut and watch it again. It's been a while since I watched it. Since we're mainly talking about Lester, but I watched it a few times. But and we're going to talk about more about it because I have some problems with the Donner cut. But
so then
where are we at now?
We're back at the Daily Planet.
He gets the powers back he finds the tube of Krell, which is what that Christopher Reeve called it that, by the way. Did you know that? Christopher Reeve actually called it that.
It's like
he did.
No, it's Alberto VO5.
He called it tube of Krell. He called it.
That's good. I like that.
I read that in in Starlog or something way back when.
He finds the light stick from the rave.
Let's see here. So where were
they're
we?
Back at the Daily Planet, and the the gang decides to drop it in.
Yep. He shows up, and again, it was a pretty cool line when he's about to kill Luther, whatever, and he goes, General. Now, in the lesser cut, it's would you care to step outside?
So yeah,
isn't it different?
No. In the lesser cut, would you care to step outside? And then he's like, you shouldn't tell something about the freedom of the press. It's like,
huh?
Oh, in the Donner cut, he like says something. I see something about interfering with the freedom of the press.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of those cases where that's really, it's so much better. Would you care to step outside?
Yeah. Superman. Oh,
thank God.
I mean, get him. Bow down before me, son of Drew.
You bow down before Zod.
Which right on its own, it's one of those. It's one of those standalone lines, which is, it's almost as timeless as Rowdy Piper and They Live.
Oliver says, Roddy was great. Clobby, who was more persuasive in conversing? Kal-El conversing Kal-El not to give up his powers. Marlon Brando or Susanna York? I'd say Marlon, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say Marlon.
Yeah, he did listen to
What? Why do you want to give up your powers, my son? Do you want to be Senator Kal-El, Governor Kal-El? Right now, you have the strings.
You're touching me with your powers. I could have used the superpowers to make offers that no one could refuse.
What are you going to do, Terrell?
I could have got you any chick you wanted to get. You could have got bimbos all the time. You didn't need that one. Anyway.
Do you remember the it was a Family Guy cutaway, and it was super, like they're in hell. It's like, Superman, what are you doing here? It's like, this girl called me faster than a speeding bullet, and I cut her in half. I think like the scene where they're busting into the Daily Planet. I like the Lester version just a bit. It's they're very similar.
Yeah, that was all fun and good.
Very similar.
I looked. The fight on the street was okay. They didn't really do much different.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you have it. It's like you have the first part where, like, up to the part where they land on the building and he blows up the concrete rock. I think Zod gets a few more clips in.
Why concrete explodes? I don't know, but
I don't know.
I never did, but I never knew why it exploded. But whatever. But yeah, it's so the fight again, but the effects of the day, we were again ambitious because the time, I'm like, am I seeing this for real? Superman fighting beings of equal power on the street, like in a comic book. I mean, look, I love George Reeves' TV show Adventures of Superman.
Yeah.
One of the things, even as a kid, that I always complained about was he just fights like mobsters and criminals and crap. They'll unload a gun on him and then they'll throw the gun at his head and he'll duck. I mean, again, he didn't really fight. He doesn't fight the Parasite or Brainiac. He doesn't fight a physical fight with whatever. He's just, and they couldn't do it though. So I didn't expect to see that in a movie. Cartoon, sure, but not in a movie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, that's okay. He's going to fight them. I couldn't wait. And it was pretty well done. You got to understand, my problems with this movie are the terrible camp scenes and the absolutely dumb stuff of him giving his powers up.
Yeah.
And some of the dialogue. I don't like a lot of the dialogue.
Like right that's you have right at the end of the fight scene. It's like, the son of Jor-El has fled, and he's like, let's kill everyone except her. It's like, kill me. So it's extinguish the greatest criminal flame of rage.
Superman's address.
Let me kill him.
Kill him.
Superman's address.
Your Muslim uncle. Hey there.
What do you want? I see the greed in your eyes.
Yes, that was Donner cut, right? I remember it was the Lester. Or was that the Lester? It might have been the Lester special edition.
That was Don. Well, maybe.
I think it was in the Lester special edition also.
It was also in the Donner.
Thank you for the super sticker, buddy. I really appreciate that. Your Muslim uncle, you're too kind. Thank you so much. And yes, RRTNZ. That's right. That the Donner Cut had that freedom of the press line. It was dreadful.
Yeah.
It's sort of like in the special cut of Army of Darkness, which I love, but Sam Raimi screwed up. He took the better scene that we had to refilm later, where Ash, when Ash, was it? He shoots his other one singing. Is the bad Ash is singing "Little Goody Two Shoes" and the good. He finally just shoots his face off, and then Ash stands over him and goes, "Good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun." Which is the best lineup. That was in the theatrical version. Then later he did a director's cut where he changed the line from that to so I'm not that good. After that's nowhere near as good as the other one. Classic, good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun. I mean, that asshole. So anyway, this is my boomstick indeed, Jamie. I love that movie. Let's see. In the Donner's cut, does he get his powers back by merging with Jarrell's soul? Yes. How did you know? I'm just kidding. Putin's cat. You are silly. Yeah, there was he was slapstick. He says, "Well, slapstick the newspaper in face ice cream guy." Yeah, that stuff I hated. Again.
Your hair. What about mine?
Yeah, what about mine? Woo!
The guy
you forgot your change. Woo!
The guy with the
on the phone. Yeah. Oh God, I hate shit like that. Oh my God, damn it! But whatever, man. So that was dopey, but the fight was pretty good. Like I said, my main problems with this movie is decisions made in the story by both guys, but it looked even worse in Lester because he had a lot of campy shit in it. And then, but let's see, where are we? So now we go back to the fortress. Now, am I again? Refresh me on Donner Cut. It's the same fight, pretty much, right?
Well, okay. In the Donner Cut, they have a couple more lines of dialogues, like "You had better not be wasting my time, Lex Luthor." And then they get there, and Non drops Lex Luthor, and he's got to like slide down a couple things. But in the Donner Cut, they have this, they insult the Fortress of Solitude, but they kind of have in the Lester Cut. Remember, they have like he throws like that nifty Mylar tear off at Non. Then they have the whack-a-mole game. They don't have any of that in the Donner Cut. They go straight to the Mexican standoff.
Right. They don't have the big disappearing,
which I kind of like because you saw the power, their power.
Right. They're moving so fast that they could disappear. But that was right out of comic books, so I didn't mind that either.
Yeah.
Even though it was a dumb line that he said that it was unnecessary when he said he used to play this game at school, wasn't very good at it, but that was just him being silly. But that's which is fine. But I mean, no, you didn't. You didn't play the game in school. But anyway, yeah. So right, but that was fine.
But then they like go to the
finger power. I can't stand.
Yeah. I mean,
that's both of them had that.
But then they end up in the they're about to kill. Of course they're like wanting to kill Lex Luthor again, so they like push him by Superman. It's like, God. And you were the guy. People
promises were made. Gifts exchanged. Got to hand it to you. You always know where you stood. You always told the truth.
Trying to get them into
that chamber. By the way, they don't have super hearing or anything, Superman, but that's okay.
Molecule chamber.
Yes, I heard you, idiot. I have super hearing.
Yeah.
But then again, he was supposed to see Superman. He was supposed to hear that. So
yeah.
They're taking away their power.
Lex Luthor, ruler of Australia. Operate the device.
Luthor, you poisonous snake. I knew you double-crossed me, Luthor. The lying weasel like you couldn't resist the chance.
Yep.
Are you kidding? When they fell into our trap, that was beautiful. Oh, God.
Now, it's like, now here's the thing. It's like, in the Donner Cut, They fly away. They fly away a bit. Lois and Superman, and then he vaporizes. He vaporizes the Fortress of Solitude. I mean, it's like
in the Donner cut,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
Which I don't understand. I don't like that.
I mean,
You can move
this
it,
is
but yeah.
this is one of those. This is one of those times where it's like the TV the TV version wins because like don't you see this whole line of like polar patrol vehicles going into the Fortress of Solitude?
Say again.
At the end of the TV version of the 2-day version of Superman 2.
Yes,
The
yes, they
ABC
added
version.
some scenes
Yeah,
back
you
to
see
it.
those like okay, there's the Fortress of Solitude. Now it's
You
going
see
to be
the
like
police.
now it's going to be a museum and whatever.
Well, yeah, and the cops are taking the villains away.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how these idiots from back during the early days of the arguments about Man of Steel killing and not killing and all this kind of shit. They said, well, in Superman 2, all the people, the Snyder bots, defended it by saying, when people complained about him killing Zod, well, he killed Zod in Superman 2. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, look, they killed. They said he didn't kill him. In the theatrical cut, they don't show what happens to him. They just fell down a couple feet into some mist. They're not dead. And then later, people, as proof, showed them, look, this is the TV cut. They did film scenes where they were alive and being taken away. Well, that doesn't count. It wasn't on the big screen. Well, are you crazy?
It doesn't count.
Idiot. Look, just admit you're wrong. Because they filmed the goddamn scene. It does count. And by the way, let's just say they didn't film the scene, right?
Yeah.
We don't see them die. You don't see them get strangled. They fall down into some mist stuff. So if you think the Phantom Zone villains were killed by Superman in that movie, you are an imbecile. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I could love you like a brother and still think you're an imbecile about that.
They are now mortal.
So what do you? That was just such a that was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, and well,
And by the way, Putin's cat, I want to tell him something real quick.
Go ahead.
To be honest with you, as much as I hate this movie, I still love it too. This is a love-hate thing. Mrs. Flu, oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh my dear. Good to see you. Happy Valentine's Day. Hey, that Mr. Flu better be doing right by you on Valentine's Day. He's going to answer to me. It's a very love-hate thing with me. But that scene, that always like they tried to use that. I'm like, man. Let's see what Steven's saying. Truth be told, I never saw those extra scenes where the Phantom Zone villains were taken away, but I never thought he killed. Yeah, I never thought he killed them either because it was just.
They've been dispatched.
They fell like 2 feet into some. But in fact, as a kid, as a comic book geek, I filled in the blank. I said, "Oh, they just fell back into the Phantom Zone," which he should have put them back in the Phantom Zone instead of a jail. That's another thing. If you think about it, it's kind of dumb that they were being taken away by cops.
Yeah.
Although Superman would be against the Phantom Zone. Maybe I don't know. Yeah.
So
he is sweetheart. Oh, good.
I mean,
and then like the last, then there's of course, he drops off Lois, and then in the Donner cut, he does the whole timey spinny thing that he did, and it's like, what the?
He erased the whole movie.
I mean, are you doing it? Are you doing that again? I mean,
I hate it.
Yeah,
there's an ending. There's where I'll say I like the ending of the Lester cut way better.
Yeah,
because he look better or worse. He erased the whole damn movie. Now, I mean, none of it happened.
Yeah, he erased the whole freaking.
You think people complained about him changing the last couple of minutes at the end of the first one? He went back and erased how many days, weeks from that ever? I mean, no, man.
To what end?
I don't know.
I mean, like,
I really didn't understand because back when we first saw the Donner cut, it was like 2000. I want to say 5 or 6 or whatever it was when he finally made it. And he didn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah,
no question about it. But they let him do it, and we were really excited about it. And I remember when I first watched it, I'm like, really? I mean, uh, okay. I mean, I love Richard Donner, so I'm not going to say much, but I mean, man, oh man, it didn't solve anything. You may as well. There's really no point to doing it. And just how about just show a bunch of? In fact, you know what he should have done? Just give us like a special DVD where you can show us all some of those alternate scenes that were fun to see.
Yeah,
and that's about it. Don't attach it to the same basic story.
I mean,
with different,
in the director's cut of Superman, he's still doing the timey-wimey thing.
Yeah,
So he's doing the same thing. Oh, it's like
didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
but in the Lester cut, it does have. He brings her back, of course, and then runs into it. He goes and sees her at the Daily Planet. She's all crying, and everything about it. And then he brings yet another new superpower.
The Hypnocast.
The Milk and Mind Meld crap where he can erase memories and shit.
Which was cheesy but expedient.
Because
all he has to do is get her a cup of water and a hamburger and orange juice, freshly squeezed.
Yeah, it was just. Ugh.
And I also like the fact that right at the end of the movie, he goes and he puts the cherry back on top of the White House.
That scene, now again, and it was all over the place emotionally watching that movie because all the things in it I hated. That scene I like. I mean, it goes back and brings it, I'll never let you down again.
I'll never let you down again.
And he just flies up and we get a nice, And by the way, RRT and Zed, oh, believe me, I never would. I know you wouldn't. He said, Cloberin, as much as I enjoy a man of, only morons would think he killed Zod and Superman 2, utterly, totally inconsistent in the cinema. In the cinema as a kid, I assumed that the shafts led to a cell and storage chamber. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And nope, that was people reaching for something. That was people reaching because they wanted to say, see, he killed it. No, he didn't.
In which cut? I mean,
that. Well, by the way, that was people most people. The thing that was run the most was the normal theatrical cut, like on cable for over and over again. They would just show that movie. So a lot of those people, that's the only one they saw. The ABC cut was run like maybe once, I think, or twice, and then unless you recorded it that night, it wasn't on DVD until some big, like, I got this. I remember back in 2006, or 2007, right after Superman Reperms came out on DVD. My kids gave me a big metal box set of all the movies, including that one,
the anthology.
And it's got all kind of. It's a nice big set, and it has all the different cuts, including all the different TV cuts. And then just recently, they came out with a different. They have an ultimate edition too. There's now for the original film, you have obviously theatrical.
Yeah.
You have the ABC cut, and you have the Donner. Yeah. It's not Donner cut of Superman 2. It's the Donner special, the director's cut of the Donner version of Superman 1, which is longer and is almost as long as the ABC cut, or longer. And it's got some stuff that was really superfluous, but it's got some good stuff in it.
I mean, I'm looking at the ABC cut right now. It's is long. Well, because the Lester cut was about 2:07. The Donner cut, I think, was 2:27, and then this one, well, it's with commercials. But anyway, it's like it's just under 3 hours.
Yeah, and it was both of them were 2 nights, and of course I sat there and cut the commercials out of all of them. I mean, I paused it. Oh yeah, and then watched it. Because see, that was the first time, incidentally, the ABC cut of the first movie was the first time we got to see the scene with the fire and ice and bullets in Luthor's lair, because it wasn't in the theatrical, of course. And as someone who had already seen the theatrical a million times, you know how excited I was to get to see that scene. I'd seen some pictures of it. So I'm like, oh my God, I get to see him with the bullets in the fire. And I was like, why would you cut that out of the theatrical? Why, oh, why? We want to see that stuff. Now it's common. Everyone just thinks about it. I mean, but it's not in the theatrical. Yep. Of course, a lot of things aren't.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I you know where I know where you're coming from. You know where I'm coming from.
Oh yeah.
That is like that's my original. That's my original. That's my original exposure to Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Did we cover all? I'm checking, make sure. Did we anything we didn't cover that you had?
No, we pretty much covered the
Want to make sure
bases.
we covered that because but not that we're done. I'm saying I want to make sure. I wanted to make sure you had to. We were to anything you want, everything you wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
So the bottom
Superman.
line of it is, I
I'm
actually look. I've softened up so much over the years. I can, in a hyperbolic fashion, bitch about something, say, "Fucking hate all this kind of stuff," but really, it's still Christopher Reeve, and when the day is over, and he's still great in it. It's sort of it's like a family member who aggravates you, but you still love him.
yeah.
All these Superman movies are like. I've even softened up a little bit on Superman 3, and that's not easy. It's still terrible. Not even look. I sat through Superman 4 recently. It's tough. That's real tough to sit through. But I have Superman 3. I have a lot of friends that love Superman 3, and I've had to go back and watch it again recently, and I'm like, okay. I mean, Superman 3 has got serious problems.
Oh yeah.
So does
Wow. Yeah, I'm like scrolling through the I'm scrolling through the ABC version on archive.org.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah. He passes a Concorde on his way to France.
Yeah, and that's another thing. The Donner cut has a lot of stuff cut from it. The whole Paris scene is. You get so used to the Paris scene. I remember every time I watch the Donner cut, I expect that to happen, and it doesn't. I'm like, weird.
Yeah, I mean, because they just put the ICBM in space.
It was pretty dumb. It's like, why are you guys making a hydrogen bomb when you're gonna be as dead as everybody else?
Yep.
And sure enough, it goes off.
Yep.
And that was that shot with him. The elevator going up. It's obviously it's a dummy, but it's okay. Still ambitious. The Phantom Zone might be cracked.
Just might
by an explosion in space. By a nuclear. They say nuclear explosion in space, or whatever. I think she said.
Why don't you just
just might.
If it might just might. Why just keep this?
Just might.
Why just keep them on Krypton for a couple more days?
Just a few minutes. It might be cracked, or it might have been cracked. We don't know, but I'll have. So Jarrell basically went to her and said, "Look, I need you to make all these recordings for Kal-El when he's on Earth, and make sure you tell him that he might have some problems with Phantom Zone and crack. Look who's here.
Because he knows about General Zod.
Hello.
Yes, he does know about Zod. What's up, dude? Mark D.
How's it going?
Mark D. Thank
Hey,
God.
Max.
I mean, get him.
What's up, dude? Sean M&T. No, you don't. Don't start.
Yes, I do. Don't start. This is one of my best experiences at a movie theater.
What was that line from the Chuck Norris movie? When I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you. Go ahead, sorry.
No, this was one of those few movies I got to see with the parents. Like Dad and Mom were like, "We're going to see Superman 2 tonight." I was a youngin', so I was like 10 or 11 or 12. I can't remember. When did this come out? 81?
81.
81. Yeah,
yes,
so I'm pretty young. Yeah, so and we're gonna go to McDonald's for dinner tonight. So I got to have McDonald's, and I was allowed to get a chocolate milkshake. And then we went to see this movie, and my dad loved it. And I know it's corny in some places, but as a 10 or 11-year-old kid, you view a movie a lot differently.
Right.
Watching it as adults. So it's one of my
I was 17,
favorite all time. Yeah, so it's one of my all time favorite memories, especially like parents surprising you, like you're gonna get to go see Superman tonight, and but we didn't get to see a lot of movies as a kid. They were it was expensive to go to the movies or go out, and I got McDonald's that night too, so it was a win-win.
Don't drink those. RR said
it's too late.
Bobby, I have a theory.
Yeah.
A lot of people claim to prefer the Donner cut of Superman 2 out of personal warmth towards Donner. Such a great guy, objectively speaking, and unfinished and inferior. I agree with that, RR. It's a mess, and it shouldn't have been really. He couldn't
Well-
do anything about it, but he shouldn't have been.
I mean, the
You know, in
guy
about
got-
10, 15 years, you might be able to, with technology, you may be able to make a whole different movie like that. But
the guy got fired by Telegram. You know.
yeah, it was horrible. The Cyclines were horrible.
Well, they're trying to
Those-
make 2 movies for the price of
it's-
1 again.
Well, yeah, they did it with the three. They did the Three Musketeers and the Four Musketeers. I remember I went to the theater to see those, and they were back to back. They came out very close to each other. I didn't know why, but I liked them when I was a kid. And turns out he did. I mean, he did it with that movie. He filmed it all at once, and they just paid everybody one time because
Aren't we filming quite a bit of scenes?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like when they did with Lord of the Rings, they knew what they were getting into. Obviously, totally different scenario. They knew what they signed up for, and they got paid for, 3 different movies. Yeah.
McDonald's milkshake recipe, flavoring, a little milk, and pure Crisco. Crisco? Ugh. Well, I mean, I don't know. Wait, now Putin's cat, first of all, what do you mean McDonald's milkshake? Their milkshake machine's always broken anyway.
It wasn't broken in the early 80s, thankfully.
No, back
Yeah.
then it wasn't. And Don loves a good milkshake. Well, who doesn't?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, now, remember in Pulp Fiction? I got to know what a $5 milkshake tastes like. Now they're all
I don't
$8.
know if it's $6.
Now they're $8.
That's not good.
Now it's like, man, if one were like $20, you go, damn, I got to know what a $20 milkshake thing feels like. Oh, man, they got a place called the Shake Shack. You have one of those, don't you, Mark?
Yep, we got Shake Shacks. Yep.
We got
Good
that now,
stuff,
too.
Good stuff. Yeah.
You like
Great
that?
stuff.
You get
It's
like
expensive though. It's
$8 for a
expensive, though.
freaking shake.
It's
That's like
expensive.
this tiny.
Yeah, well, especially in the Northeast there, everything costs.
Burgers are not like rated. Yeah, yes.
They had an $18 Big Mac and fries and drink near me. It was so crazy. The prices were so nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steak and shake. Shamrock steak. I used to like those. They changed them though, I think, Professor. Professor R2. They changed steak and shake. We have steak and shake something close to here.
Oh my God, he does.
Oh my.
I'm at the point where Non threw the thing at the kid.
Yep, he killed that kid. Boom. It would never be a man. I love Sarah. Sarah Douglas, by the way, is the best thing about this movie, everybody, because we want my friend Ace and I walk up to her at Dragon Con one year and start talking to her. I think she kind of fancied him, by the way. And we were talking. She's just such a nice lady. And we asked her to say Superman, and she did for us. I wish we had a record. If we had our phones then, like had recordings, because this is a long time ago, we'd have recorded it. Superman.
Well,
She was
that
just sweet.
is
great.
that is definite bonus of the Donner cut. We get 2 Supermans.
Yes. Love her. She's in Beastmaster 2. Oh, Beastmaster 2, Electric Boogaloo. She's in isn't she in Conan the Destroyer?
Yes.
Yeah, I love her. Oh, and V, right? She's in V the Final
she's in
Battle,
V?
maybe. One of the V's.
Okay.
Viva V, the Final Battle, maybe.
Well, I just have something to say to that.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Yes.
Thank you. I love it. I mean, man.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick.
Cool. Love it. Although you don't have any Superman 2 clips.
Oh yeah, she played.
No, I wasn't prepped for this one. Yeah.
Really, she really teased her hair out for the final battle.
Okay, yeah, she wasn't that. Now, but see, yeah, there was there's a Sam Raimi cut that he did the wrong. It's just like I said, he put the wrong. He changed.
Well, the
it.
original version was a lot longer. So the original version is actually the director's cut that he sent to the studio, and the studio said, we don't like your original submission. We're chopping the movie down, and this line is much better. And so Raimi admitted, eventually, the studio was actually right on that one.
I want that line back in it.
Yeah, so the longer version, the quote unquote director's cut, was the original submission, and the studio
I know.
chopped it down, which is interesting.
There's a commercial for the McNeil tea.
Oh, wait a minute. What are you watching on?
McDLT?
I'm watching the ABC cut on archive.org.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
awesome.
is
They
it
have a
it's
McDLT.
got the commercials?
Yeah.
Really?
And for those of you not old enough to remember, the McDLT had the tomatoes and lettuce, which Cloberin Times probably doesn't want anyway, on one side.
The cold
To
stuff's
keep it
on the
cool
cold side, the warm stuff's
and
on
hot
the warm side.
Yeah, in your styrofoam
And it's all
container that was great
styrofoam.
for the environment, not so great for the environment.
Nice. Well,
when did the Donner cut come out? Was that like about 10 years ago now?
no, like
Or even longer?
2006 or
Oh, that
something,
long now.
5 or
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
Captain Voldendoom Venity Maximus, Temperus Maximus. Hello.
Yeah, I'll get this. And how did they? I mean, was that you guys? What was the history of that in terms of getting it released, or it wasn't like
they were. I mean, they say at the beginning that okay, this Donner cut, this is how they originally wanted it, and however they couldn't do this or that. They couldn't do this or that, so they had to use some screen test stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it wasn't like the. I guess people had wanted to see it for years, but it wasn't like the Man of Steel, our buddy, our favorite director, that releasing that cut. I mean, I guess, or maybe the studio just figured.
God, it's Orville Redenbacher in a commercial. I live right across from the building where he passed away.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But it wasn't like they weren't clamoring like for a Snyder cut. They weren't clamoring for a Donner cut. I can remember.
Donner cut they were talking about for a long time.
Long time. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
there was just so much behind the scenes drama with.
I never thought we were going to get to see that. I mean, and we really saw all we could, but it's just it's not that great. But now this show. So you found a copy that has the ABC cut, and they got all commercials in it. That's crazy. Nice.
Well, that's fun to watch. It's
I probably
fun to
still
watch
have
it
my
that
old
way.
VHS tapes of that, like all my old. I still have all my old VHS tapes, so I know I have that on tape somewhere.
I had a whole ton of VHS Doctor Who and Blake 7, and they were.
I still have mine. I still have every episode of Blake 7 on VHS and a bunch of Doctor Who. I have them all 52 of the Blakes, and yeah, they should do Blu-ray one day, but they won't. They wouldn't even do DVD over here.
No, you had a DVD. That was it. Yeah.
I have the Region 2 ones, but I mean, I don't have a player anymore. But that don't matter. We had a friend rip them, so I have copies to play on normal.
Yeah, playing on.
And it's on BritBox at least.
I wish the BritBox doesn't have the hot, HD quality, or I guess they've never done it on HD at all. They've never. So
you got a shitty TV like mine, it doesn't matter. It just looks good enough to me.
Unlike UFO, where they have the Blu-ray version is on is streaming, which is really nice to watch. Yep. Great quality. Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, Redemption. Looking forward to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how's the poll doing here?
Oh, thank you. God damn it.
27 votes.
All right, let's see. Let me see what we got. I have to refresh it. You wanker. All right. 27 votes. That's a lot of votes. You should be president. Oh, sorry. All right. 27 votes is 56% for the Donner cut, 44 for the Lester cut. I'm not surprised you, but I think I choose the Lester cut out of the two because the Donner cut has so much stuff that doesn't work, and they had to use a screen test for a scene.
I voted Lester cut too, and those reasons make a lot of sense. Although I did love getting to see the Donner cut, or
I'm glad he did it.
Getting to see what was, getting to see what's what could have been maybe. Yeah.
But that scene, it's just again, I hate. Reason why I bitch about the Lester cut is I can't stand all the campy shit in there, and I don't like the overall story. But to be fair, it's the same story that's in a lot of it's the same story that's in and it's all the same story that was in either cut. I don't, but the only reason why I voted against the Donner cut though is because I don't like that he goes back in time and unwinds the whole movie. I'm like, why did we sit here if you did that in the theater, he would have been. Look, let's just say, for sake of argument, he did pretty much the same thing. Now, if he had not been taken off the project, the movie there would have been a lot of differences. I'm pretty convinced that it would have been a bit of a different film, but it would be mostly the same. So let's say, for sake of argument, that it's mostly the same as we saw, with some things
Minor
changed.
tweaks.
Right, some tweaks that are a little bit different. And let's say, but in 1981, let's say Donner did it, and you got most of what you saw in this Donner cut, but some differences, right? Let's just say that, for sake of argument, people would be walking out if he has the same ending, and I think he might have. People would have been said, "Are you shitting me?" He would have been blasted for erasing his own movie at the end of it.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people would have been annoyed. People
erasing his
still to
own
this
movie
day,
again.
yeah, because people don't like a lot of people, and I don't care about the one scene where he goes back and saves Lois because I'm used to time travel. Superman can do that.
Ooh.
But a lot of people, even who like the movie, do criticize. The biggest criticism you hear of the original film is the turning back time stuff. Our timey-wimey, as Captain Finity would say, I'm being the time police here. So a lot of people don't like that scene,
Avery
even though
Brooks,
it's kind of
Robert
minor.
Urich, and Spencer for Hire.
Nice. Love that show. So a lot of people complain about that scene, even though they love the movie. So imagine what they would do to him if he had erased this whole movie at the end, like he does in the Donner cut.
Yeah, but you think he would have done that 2 movies in a row? Because didn't they use that scene? Obviously, using that scene in the first movie.
Well, I mean, he did what he
might have
do.
changed. Because didn't they take that scene and then plop it onto the first movie?
What?
Or take that idea and plop it onto the history? Like, how did it? Did he lose control of the first? No, he decided to have. This movie far better than me. So he went with that original ending, and that was approved. And then he was going to do the same thing again in Superman 2.
Yes, because he otherwise he wouldn't have done it with the Donner cut. Remember, he had to go back. I mean, he filmed a bunch of stuff. He filmed a lot of that stuff he put together back then. That whole ending, the Donner cut is his.
The Directors Guild of America said, well, that Lester had to you had to do at least 40%. And then they tried to do like a co-director, and Donner wouldn't do that.
But see,
that's what that was. Just I was always thought that my limited knowledge that they had taken, because the whole history was so screwed up, that they said, "Oh, we're using that ending from Superman 2 and putting it on Superman 1," and because he was in charge of Superman 1 the whole way through, I guess. So,
but point is, it would have been the same way, because otherwise he wouldn't have put that in the Donner cut.
Yeah, no. Yeah, okay, yeah. No,
so
that makes sense.
I understand,
but people would have been pissed off. I can hear. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
Donner never had a chance to finish Superman 2. Well, we all know that, Putin. So we can't say I would have gone. I can say no. I could speculate, though. I'm speculating that if he'd have done it the same way he did the Donner cut, people would have really ate him alive over it, because he erased his whole movie. He erased it at the end. R says, again, that's speculation, Putin's, but Keely Chow, roll tide.
Hey, Keely.
Clobby, even as an 8-year-old in 1978, seeing Superman, I knew turning time back was ridiculous. So I didn't mind it, but a lot of people didn't. See, there you go. A lot of people don't like it. But Reeves' charm carries the film. That's a big reason I dislike Donner's cut. It repeats that crap. So there you go. And that's a good point. My friend RR doesn't like that. It bothers him even more than because the one part he got away with it a little bit because it was just the lowest bit, right? In this one, he erases the entire movie, in essence.
Oh, yeah.
The whole story. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, though, not just her death, one person's death in this case. Steven says, just curious, was the reaction back in 1978 to Superman time traveling in the first movie general acceptance, or did people question it in terms of his abilities? What my lay of land on that, Steven, is people criticized it, but loved the movie anyway. People were so enthralled with the movie, you walked out just not even really giving it thought. Then later down the road, you started hearing a lot of conversation about it. Well, him turning back time like that didn't sit well with a lot of people. But the initial reaction, nobody even thought about it. I know I didn't. I mean, I went and saw it 18 times plus in the theater. I only say plus because I'm not sure if I went more than that. And I know when I thought I may have lost count at 18, but it never bothered me. It is forbidden, says Minimus. There you go. So I can say it did. It became one of the biggest box office hits of all time. It was absolutely smash hit with the critics and the audiences. So I would say it wasn't enough to turn. People at best criticize that, but the movie got nothing but positive word of mouth. So I would say general acceptance in the extreme. I mean, way more than general acceptance. It was really well loved. But I wonder how a sequel that comes out does all kind of controversial stuff, like giving up his powers and killing stuff, and then erasing the whole story at the end would have done. I don't know.
Well, a lot of people I talked to back in the day, they all thought he spun the Earth backwards, and that's how I'm like, no, that was supposed to be his perspective as he's going faster and faster around the Earth. That's Superman's perspective of time going in reverse or time traveling. Not, everyone was like, how did the Earth spin backwards and everyone not fall off with no gravity or.
Well, then that's what I'm saying. That's what happens when you do a visual effect. Donner, I think that was just his way of saying he went backwards in time, but he shows the Earth going backwards. He thought it would probably. I can't speak for him because I don't know if he addressed it, but he probably just thought it looked cool that that the Earth was spinning backwards and he was going back in time. Whereas in comic books, Superman could just willy-nilly take off and go, you know what, I'm going to fly into the future, and he'll fly forward, and you'll see the years like on the comic page. It'll be like a little warp distortion, and years pass by on him, and that would be it. So he did it all the time.
How did he do that without a flux capacitor?
Because he's Superman.
Because he's Superman.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Superboy did it more than Superman did.
Right, going to see the Legion.
21 gigawatts. 1.21 gigawatts.
The Legion had to use time bubbles, but he just flew. You're went to hang out with the Legion, he would just fly forward in time and then fly back in time.
Good
and
Lord.
Yep. And Saturn Girl had this post-hypnotic suggestion put in, when every time he would go back to his time period, he wouldn't remember what happened, the specifics of what happened in the 30th century.
Yeah. Well, Ed, that I hate to use the rated R language, but that sounds like bullshit. You are correct, sir.
You are correct, sir. Ed, let me tell you something. You're going to get in trouble. Oh, man. Well, I tell you what. Let's see if anyone has any questions about
Superman 2 when, is what Claude's mentioning, the S, but that the one where they throw the S?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Really made an S of himself. Ravenscroft asked earlier, on a 4 scale, what's your rating of Soups 2? I still give it a 3, but that's degraded over the years. Well, if you're talking about the Lester cut on a 4 scale, I would have to give it a 2. Because it's still got Christopher Reeve, and he's very entertaining in it. On a 10 scale, I would give it about a 5, 5.5, something like that. And then Stuart Mitchell says, Phantom Zone was meant to be shattered. It was going to be a nuclear missile originally from the first movie. But one of the
constructed.
Well, it was one of those nuclear missiles from the first movie. The whole Paris segment from the beginning of Superman 2 was added in, which came to the same result. Yes, true. Donner wanted it to be the missile. Thought you needed a slingshot around the sun to travel back in time. Yeah, but not Superman.
Yep.
He could just
hit warp 10. If not, you're
fly
fried.
fast. Yep. If you don't, you're fried. At least Superman would. Yes, Barry Allen would never pull a Barry Allen. Well, Barry Allen had to use a treadmill. He's talking about the S in the opening credits. The plastic S he threw was at Non was stupid. Yes. Well, I didn't see what you wrote earlier. I just listened. Oh, I was listening to Max. He said something about the S. I lost track of how many times I saw Superman in the theater, but I only got that thrill of the S bursting on the screen once. Yes, that first time I saw it in the theater, like he says, in 1978, that big S blew me out of the theater. I mean, I'm just, man, oh man, I was just blown away. I loved it so much. Great, great, great stuff. And I don't have any Superman clips. We have to get some Superman clips.
Sure, yeah.
Get on that right now.
Get on right now. Yep. Which one do you want? Yeah.
Yes.
Your agonizer, please.
How dare you spend time with your wife on Valentine's Day instead of clipping Superman 2?
Did you?
A little bit.
You spend what time with your wife on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's great.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe it. He's quoting Superman 2 right there. That was a good quote of Perry White.
Yeah.
That was a bad delivery by Jackie Cooper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man, oh man. No, well, that's good though. Did you have a good Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, when the more you've been together, the less special stuff you do. I got to say, when you're first together, you make sure you buy bazillion roses and fancy dancy dinner and stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, I understand and stand up.
But yeah, that's one of those holidays where it's just like, oh god, it's really a danger trap for us guys, because if you screw up, you screw up.
You screw up bad. Yeah, it's a trap. It's a trap. I don't have that clip anymore because I had to get rid of a bunch of clips. Sorry.
You got rid of it. It's a trap.
I can't help it, man. I need room. I need the space.
Oh, we got to. I'll put it on the other brand. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like to switch brands. I hate switching brands.
Yeah, well. Yeah, Sunday fancy dinner at McDonald's.
Don't let Mark deal with the C. Do it. Oh, damn engineers! I always like to change things.
Yeah.
God damn it, Mark.
That's the problem. You only get 100. You only get 100 clips, or 100 whatever.
Yeah, on each of the brands there. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. Yep, it's a trap.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Good old Don. There you go. Yeah, it was fun. Our Professor R2, it was cool hanging with you guys at Mr. Brown's today, though. Very nice.
Yeah, you talked. I was listening to that for a little bit.
I saw you. Thank you.
You were talking FF casting, which
the FF
surprised
casting.
me. I was kind of surprised by the way some of that casting went. I thought it would go a much different direction.
I kind of did too.
I was shocked. Yeah, and actually, the guy that's playing Ben Grimm, if you've watched The Bear, I think he could pull it off. I mean, it depends. Of course, the writing is. I mean, I'm not expecting any of the.
I only know him from The Punisher first season.
But he was great on The Bear, and he plays a kick-ass kind of character on The Bear, and he can go from being kind of a.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's great. So I don't know size-wise if they're gonna bulk him up a little bit for the few flashbacks.
Cuban shots of Ben Grimm, yeah.
And he does have Jewish lineage, which is good. So
Grimm needs to be Jewish for sure.
So I thought they would, we're all the conjecture was they were gonna.
Are they gonna
flip that up?
The Grimstein?
Ezra Goldstein, shalom.
Hey, Ezra, shalom.
Hello, good to see you.
So the casting's better than I mean, Pedro. I don't think
I'm not big on Pedro, but he could. He could surprise us
if he pulls it off. Yeah. So on the whole, I'm surprised by the casting. So that could actually work out. But of course,
without going too far into it, even I'm surprised by the casting. But again, and look, it does seem to be like R&B's sure. I don't know if we should be sure that it's going to be a period piece. Again, good. But again, look at who's directing this thing. I mean,
it's the directors are not.
Well, this person's never directed a feature. They've directed episodes of WandaVision and some other Marvel
show
that escapes me at the moment. But it's
But they're not really directors anyway. They're just kind of.
They don't really have directors of these things. They have guys that. Yeah, that's true. But it's the writers that concern me, and they had that little clip we saw last week of a bunch of people who written for various Marvel MC and MCU projects, and saying things like, "Well, we never really read the comic. We were not told to read. We were told not to read the comics. We don't care about comics, whatever." Well, you sure proved it. I believe you. You don't have to convince me. You guys prove it that you don't know anything about what you're doing.
That's why they get the character so wrong. Yeah. So
yeah.
We'll see what happens. So, I mean, I'm always willing to give things a shot. It's got to be better than Fan Four Stick, but the problem is they just
it's got the lowest bar of any movie ever, and they can still be crappy. But yeah,
he directed 2 episodes of Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. Which
Monarch, yeah.
But
fabulous,
and a couple of Game of Thrones episodes. But it's like you said, it's the story and what they do. If they did a retro piece, that could work, and then you have them somehow trapped in time, or like I was saying today, you get trapped in the microverse or the negative zone somehow, and then they pop out into the present from like a time warp. That would be an interesting way to do it. Or they're going to play with the stupid multiverse like we'll get in Deadpool, where which I don't mind them using the multiverse so much, just to bring Deadpool into everything, and then you get rid of it and just have it for like a 2-minute scene, like the TVA, make fun of it, and then pull Wolverine out or something.
Yeah, I hope he just it'd be funny if he just slaughters everybody at the TVA and that's it.
Yeah.
That would be funny. I mean, it's going to be probably funny. It's just, I mean, it'll be the funniest thing they do for a while, because I don't even hate this. A lot of people don't like the second movie. I thought it was all right. They're funny movies. Yeah, I mean, they're okay and all that stuff. But so I don't imagine it not being at least mildly humorous in some ways. But
great actors. So
I'm never excited. I mean, Deadpool doesn't mean a lot to me anyway. He's funny, but I don't even like his comic, or I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a fun, throwaway movie. You have a good time and you enjoy it. It's not, building a universe, but of course they did have some great scenes in there, and some great X-Men interaction, and Colossus was hysterical in that. And going in, that's what they're going for, right? You know what to expect that by now. So
yeah, we shall see. I don't have I don't have any faith in it.
Yeah.
But the good news is, since I don't have any faith in it, they can't disappoint me. It's all up. Everything is. There's nothing you can do that would shock me. Therefore, I can't be disappointed by any of it. I'll be like, I could be surprised. Like if they do something smart, for example, I'll go, "Whoa, really?" So I want to see the casting of Dr. Doom, which I guess we should have soon, right?
Is Dr. Doom even going to be in it?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. Yeah, but why wouldn't they not?
He should be in it. He should be in it.
Well, actually, if they want to do the origin right, it should be Mole Man. But
yeah,
Well,
I'm looking at the director's bio.
End,
He's got to be good. He appeared in The Facts of Life and Different Strokes as a child actor.
As a child actor, he must be. Oh, he's not young.
He was on Different
Strokes. He's not too young then.
Yeah, how old is he?
Doom, yeah. We don't know that it's going to be Doom, though, Professor. I mean, like maybe our Doom at the end, and you do the proper origin story, then you have Mole Man and some, I don't know.
Hans Moleman? Just kidding. Just kidding. I said Hans Moleman.
There you go. The FS first villain was Mole Man. And the second one, issue 2, they meet Skrulls. See, this is the movie's not going to be real FF unless I do it. And if I do it, you wouldn't see Doom to the end of the first movie because we would episodically adapt the first 4 issues of the original comic. We would have, in other words, they have the origin, they meet Mold Man. Second episode, they meet Skrulls. Third episode, they have that. That's when they get their uniforms. And then in the 4th episode, they meet Submariner. They bring him back, the real deal, not that stupid Marvel MCU one. And then at the end, because issue 5 is where Dr. Doom first appears. Yeah, no Julian McMahon.
I mean, he could have been good as Doom, but just the character was written so horribly. If he had been all scarred up, and if one of his plastic surgeries had gone bad from that, what was that show he was on with he was the plastic surgery doctor,
surgery guy or whatever.
Yeah, can't remember the name of the show. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it.
I shouldn't. say
Nip
maybe.
cut. What was it called?
Nip Tuck. Nip Tuck.
Nip-
That's right.
Nip tuck.
That's
Yeah,
right,
yeah. But and for a few seconds in the second movie, Rise of the Surfer, he was trying to steal the Surfer's powers. Like for a few seconds, I'm like, that's actually kind of Doctor Doom there for a few fleeting moments, and then
Yeah, but
then it was screwed up again.
Yeah, I don't know.
The writing was just so bad. Oh my god! Well, they did the Ultimates. That was the problem. They did the Ultimate FF. So.
That's stupid Ultimate drivel. So.
God, hopefully they'll steer far and wide of the Ultimate.
I wish they would just do a nice animated adaptation of the originals and make it look like Kirby did it.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that, and then they could have all their stupid live action movies.
Because the Fox movies had a charm to them, and they were heart was in the right place, but they just especially the Rise of the Silver Surfer was just when they went with the Galactus Cloud, but Chickless, and Chickless is great as the Thing, just he doesn't look like Ben should look, as you said, but his personality, his acting fits the character, and Chris Evans is great as Johnny Storm. That was good casting, and the guy, Mr. Fantastic, I do not know how to say his name, but he was decent.
I still can't say his name. Jon. It's Jon. It's Jon Gruffod. Jon Gruffod.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Dude, if your name's that weird, you should just change to Sam. You're gonna be an actor. I mean, if you're gonna be an actor,
Yeah.
Hey, Jon.
Change your name to John Griffin.
People say they go, I own. What was your name? I own, buddy. Yeah, I own that guy. So, well, I can't agree with you there, my buddy RR. Sorry, I love Dr. Doom. I think he's the greatest villain of them all. Greatest supervillain of them all. Sean
He's referring to one of the Doom bots there, probably.
Yeah. Says the Corman Fantastic Four is the best best FF movie we are going to have. Change my mind. I can't change your mind on that one, but it's still not a good movie. I wish I could change your mind on that. It really doesn't have any good.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't have any good seconds.
That's a few good things. Yeah.
Like the Jeweler.
Oh, I was just so excited to finally get that bootleg.
Chief Shadow 1750. Hello. Welcome. I mean, look, I'm not saying this. He's wrong. I mean, obviously, he says it's better than the Sony ones. I don't know, but it's not good. I know you didn't say it was good, Sean. I got you, but it's about the level of the Sony ones for me. That those, I don't know. I gotta be honest. I don't think it's better than those. I mean, those have some okay things in it.
No.
I mean, Chris Evans is great as Johnny Storm.
The first FF movie by Sony is the best one so far, but it's not a great movie. Yeah,
but compared to Fan Four Stick, the Roger Corman movie is Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, that was one of the few movies I almost walked out of. And about 15, 20 minutes in, I'm like, I almost got up out of my seat.
I had to watch a bootleg of it.
Yeah,
I could not.
I was in the movie theater. I paid for it. And I'm like, now I got to leave.
Yeah, well, as Walter Matthau used to say, if it's not worth anything, you're not technically stealing it.
Well, there you go. That's a good point. I like it. In that case, it was I should charge them for me watching a bootleg. Dr. Doom is getting upset. Stephen. Oh no. I like the guy who did the voice of Dr. Doom on the animated series of the 90s. So that guy was good. The second season. That was great. Simon something or other. So yeah, well. So I don't know. Again, here we are. I guess they gotta hurry up and make this thing. That's right, because Fan Four Stick, you realize that was like 2015? They only got so much time before they have to make a movie with the Fantastic Four title. So it's got to get made.
No, I don't think so, because now Disney owns the FF. I think it was part of the deal.
Oh, Disney. Well, but Fox, I thought it's still not Disney.
No, because Fox doesn't exist anymore. Right. I think
but don't they eventually still have to do it, or it'll start to lapse?
No, because they own everything. Because these were like the rights were leased out. So usually, when it goes to a different company, they're like, "You've got to make the movie, otherwise the rights come back to us." So that was what happened with the Corman FF.
Disney own. It's not Sony now.
No, Disney owns everything because 20th Century Fox had the rights.
They bought,
to
okay, they're good then. So in that case,
Unfortunately,
don't make it. I hope they never make
Yeah.
it then. I hope it gets
Yeah.
shelved and sidelined. I hope it gets shelved because I'm the only one that can make an FF movie. We all know this.
yeah.
Don't even pretend anyone else could do it. You know. To be honest with you, James Gunn should let me run the Superman movie, but he won't listen to me. It's hard.
We tried. We should start a what's not a GoFundMe. What's the other one? The change.org. Cloberin Time should direct the new FF movie.
Well, I mean, is it anyone else? I mean, come on, let's go. I mean, I'm not that I've ever directed a movie, but I'm just saying I'm still should be in charge. I can get someone else to do the directing as long as I call the shots. How about that? Clombie, since actor Pedro Pascal is going to play Reed Richards, will you prefer Pascal's Reed Richards clean-shaven face or with a bit of a beard? I don't like the bearded Reed Richards.
Oh, Richard.
Yes, I didn't want to. I don't like Reed with the beard thing.
And Pascal can't grow a decent beard anyway. He's got such a scraggly beard. It's like if you
He's a
can't grow a
scraggler.
decent beard, don't grow one. Come on.
Yes.
Like Lazar's
Yes.
cousin.
Young Rafud pronounced. Let's see. Pronounced. People have been telling me how to pronounce this for years.
What?
Johan Griffith. Is that how you say it? Griffith. Johan Griffith. Well, see, that's just he should change his name to something normal. If he's gonna be in movies, I mean, not if it, name should be Sam Jones. No, we already got that. Sam Smith. How about that? Ian. It's just like Ian Griffith. Like spell it like
Ian would be great, yeah, because then I would know how to say it.
yeah.
I mean,
like
no one can say my last
Ian,
name,
but
so
he's Welsh. He's Welsh. So he was
know
actually
that
pretty
feeling.
good.
No, he was decent. Yeah, the special effects stunk. You know, he was dancing on his bachelor party, and the arms are going like, "Oh my god, how bad is this?" But it's the times, and you don't need to have. Look at we're talking about you guys are talking about Superman all night. Look how great the effects are in that movie without CGI, and yeah, you really do believe a man can fly. We were blown away when we first, of course, seeing by the time the second one rolls around, you're used to it. But they invented all kinds of special cameras and just amazing tech. But sometimes that makes it more believable. That's why the FF is just so damn expensive too, right? Because you're gonna have Ben almost all the time as CGI, and whenever they use their powers, they're expensive powers to use. Flying is one thing. Flying's pretty cheap now. But anything with CGI and all that action. But maybe they should get the Godzilla guy -1 guy to do it. I mean, he did a great job with $15 million.
I'd stay away from Disney. Do Godzilla movies. You're great at that.
Yeah.
You don't want to get sucked up in those idiots. Godzilla. I want to see that again. I wanted to see that black and white version too. I didn't get a chance.
It was good. Yeah, it was good stuff. Yeah,
great movie. Oh my goodness! Well, the like I said, that's the FF movie. I don't know, man. It's so pointless. It's just gonna I just don't trust any of these people. Don't trust them. But I will say this: we're talking about there's such an incompetent company. Remember, they've had 2 projects recently have to be scrapped, wasted crazy money. And are starting them over. But now, on the one hand, you go, well, that's pretty good. You guys admitted what you're doing was garbage and you're starting back from scratch. That's great. One time, that's great. You might go, okay. But to have it going on twice right now as we speak.
Well, Falcon, right?
Well, first it was the Cap Falcon garbage, Captain Falcon movie. Apparently, they made that and they tested it and it tested horribly. So they're going back and reshooting a bunch of stuff. And then Daredevil, it's even more crazy with Daredevil Born Again because, God, that Netflix show was so good. And they're making this thing and they made like a bunch of episodes and then someone come along. I don't know how this happened. I would like to know. I'd love to know. Maybe we'll know one day. Came along and said, oh, man, this sucks. I did hear that one thing I just read recently is John Bernthal, who plays the Punisher in those shows. He came on and he refused to do it. When they were doing it, because the character's terrible. What they're doing with the character, he wouldn't do it. Now he's doing it because they came back and they scrapped it all and started over.
Yeah, so we're doing a do-over.
And I've been watching this site on X that is showing pictures from the set every day. They're hot and heavy in the filming it right now, and he's supposed to agree to be on an episode or whatever.
Once you learn that Foggy and Karen were coming back.
Yeah, and there's that. And Bullseye looks like shit, though.
He does, yeah. We'll see what it looks like in post or if they add anything. But yeah, he's got to have a bullseye in his uniform somewhere.
Man, it's just I saw a couple of cosplayers. Someone put that on one of those sites. Cosplayers,
great,
perfect bullseye, perfect Daredevil costumes. But Hollywood can't do it. Cosplayers are way better, of course.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, and the other thing, well, Blade they had to scrap too, or I guess they didn't start filming Blade, but I guess they had to scrap the whole story. Or Mahershala Ali was pretty upset with it. So
yeah, I hear it's
Blade
about his daughter.
Yeah, so I heard that they reshot. I don't know if it was reshoots or if they went back to the drawing board, but that's
been a Blade movie, not about Blade. That's great. Yeah. That's what everyone wants to see. Yeah,
and with the FF, it's like, you know, if you told me I wouldn't be excited about a new FF movie coming out 20 years ago, I said, what drugs have you been smoking? Because, but I'm really almost dreading a new FF movie coming out. You know, it's a sense of dread versus a sense of excitement, which is kind of insane as I'm looking at my bust of the Thing, all my Thing statues and FF memorabilia. Yeah, I do have quite a bit of FF stuff in this room. So, and I'm more scared about how it's gonna turn out than actually. I can't wait to see it.
Yepper. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So, Max, dude.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good to finally get to hang out with you, dude. One is nice when we get to hang and talk some Blake 7, brother. Once we get done doing the reviews and stuff, we'll have a night where we just talk about the whole thing. Let's talk about the whole show in general.
It's largely academic, Blake.
Yes, we should. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't been excited for a Spider-Man movie in recent years, says Chief Shadow. Me either, Chief Shadow. Spider-Man movies don't interest me anymore.
Oh, did anyone see Madam
Sander
Web
Hammerslag?
today?
Hey there.
Ooh.
What's up, Sam?
What?
Sander.
Did anyone see Madam Web today? Cloberin Times, were you first on?
No, but my friend J-Man reviewed it, said it was horrible.
Oh, J-Man hated it?
Yep. Hated it. Yeah, and Gary, of course, hated it.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Gary actually rented the movie theater. He was the only one in there. He's got that big bucks now. He could rent the movie theater.
Yeah, he rented the movie theater, all right. Then nobody showed up.
But
yeah, J-Man has a review of it. I'll
have to go watch that. And I heard they were only in costume for 3 minutes, someone said.
3 seconds, something. They don't wear, they're never in costume other than stuff you see in the commercials.
That's it?
It's like Preparation H. It feels good on the whole.
Oh my God. I was at least hoping to see Sydney Sweeney in the Julia Carpenter costume swinging around on webs. That's what I meant by swinging around on webs.
Well, you're not going to get much of that, according to what J-Man told me. Said the review. Reviews from Madam Web are pouring in, and it is hilariously bad, says R2. Oops. Chief Shadow said, I'm okay aside from a slight day. I hope you feel better there, Chief Shadow. And
media right has fallen upon Disney corporate headquarters. Is this a sign from God that he wants change? I would not say definitely, because Kathleen Kennedy is still... Oh, my God. Yes, Kathleen Kennedy has now been killed by an asteroid. This is definitely a sign from God.
The reviews of Madam Web are pouring in. It is hilarious. Bad to the bone. Well, bad. There you go.
Does the word Hindenburg mean anything to you?
Nah. By a geode. Yeah. What would you want? It's obviously Suckles. Yeah. So, well, there you go. Let's see the world. We should thank Nerdrotic and J-Man for their sacrifice. Yeah, that's why they pay those guys the big bucks. Well, Nerdrotic, they don't pay J-Man. But some of his buddies that usually go with him to these movies wouldn't even go. He had to go by himself. If I lived up near the J-Man, just to feel bad for him, I would have went with him. But boy, I'm glad I didn't.
Would have given him some support, yeah.
I'd have went with him.
Boy, howdy.
Well, thank God my favorite Spider-Girl is not in this movie. So
yeah, they had I mean, this girls are super cute. And it's Sydney. What's her name? Sydney Sweeney. Wow, we talked about her last night. Seriously,
Yeah.
or the other night. She's super hottie. I think she's Julia Carpenter, but none of them become their super beings or whatever. Even John Campia agrees about Madam Wed. Says Don. Wow.
Oh, is Spider-Man make an appearance?
I hear that. I think they said that Peter Parker is there as a kid or something, and Ben Parker.
Okay.
Thank you, all.
Super
chat. Thank you so much. He says, definition of irony equals film about a clairvoyant character, but only the audience knows it's rubbish before it comes out. Thank you for the super chat. And I appreciate that. Yes, it's just awful. And I'm glad I will never watch it. Not now, not ever, as Lister would say.
Oh, you should play a clip for RTNZ.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should play a clip because he gave me one earlier as well. RTNZ, that's right. Let's see. Here's a clip for you.
Get those nerds! 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 What?
Cass, super Cass.
Brain and brain, what is brain?
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
There will be no time for recreational activities.
The Borg, party poopers of the galaxy.
Inconceivable. 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 Inconceivable.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Love it. Let's see. Chief Shadow, who's new here, by the way. It's good to see you, Chief. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 were garbage. I agree. Homecoming wasn't a true Spider-Man movie. I agree again. As far as I'm concerned, the Raimi films are the only good Spidey movies. I can't disagree, although I don't like the third one. But yeah, I'm with you. And I didn't even like No Way Home that much. Hey, Larry. Oh, Larry is not expendable. Did you know that?
What about you?
What about me?
Why don't you go?
You are expendable.
And you're not?
No, I'm not. I am not expendable. I'm not stupid. And I'm not going.
Yes. I love that. Horizon. A great one.
Amazing 1 and 2. It's some of the worst story. Yeah, they were trying to set up that Sinister Six. And I mean, I think 2 was got to be one of the worst, god awful films I've ever seen. What they did to Electro and Jamie Foxx, and at least they tried to fix that in Homecoming a little bit. But that movie gets by on a lot of member berries and a lot of nostalgia, so a lot of love for that first, the first 2 movies. So, or the Raimi films, I should say. So
yeah, wow. Is that really a quote? Are you kidding, Professor Arku?
No. I believe him, but
when you take on the responsibility, the power will come.
Oh God!
This is very
no joke.
This point of view.
Are you serious? Come on now, pulling my leg now. I would say that No Way Home is among my honorable mention Spidey movies. So No Way Home, I kind of enjoyed it, but here's my problem with those. We don't have to go too far into it. They're done, but it's all based on the premise that Doctor Strange is a total moron, which aggravates me. Then it's really insulting what it does to it deletes Uncle Ben, and Aunt May becomes Uncle Ben.
Couldn't Doctor Strange just have Parkinson's or something?
He could go straight to the multiverse of madness for all I care with this idiocy that he does in this movie.
Moons of Madness, Mr. Family.
Moons of Madness, Mr. Family. Maze Runner 2 was one of the worst movies I've seen. Yeah. Hate that movie with every fiber of my being. Well, you're not going to get an argument out of me there, Chief.
It was laughably bad. It was so bad.
The RIC? What does that mean, Sander? The RIC? Well. Okay, so well, Max, you got any closing words for us? We're going to start to scoot out of here in a little bit.
Lex Luthor, ruler of Australia.
Activate the machine.
I didn't vote for who's this Lex Luthor? I didn't vote for him.
Yes. What about
There's only one thing I want to say to you.
You're a dumbass.
Yep. There's only one thing I want to say to you.
You're a dumbass.
Captain, I see no reason to stand here and be insulted.
Double dumbass on you!
Sorry.
Hello, computer.
Hello, computer. So, well, unless you got anything, Mark.
Well, I'll be just looking forward to the clubhouse, which I'm sure you're going to talk about. But I'll be doing a watch party for Blake 7 season 2 episode 2. Or is it 1? No, 2. Yeah, episode 2, right? Yeah, or is it 1? What did we do last week? It was a long time ago.
Redemption.
We're doing Redemption, right?
Season
Yeah.
2, episode 1. In other words, episode 14.
Yeah.
If you want to just go by episode numbers.
Episode 14. Yep. So we'll be doing the watch party around 9ish tomorrow night. Yep. And catch everyone there. And I had a couple of shorts out today, and one was the Spidey Man. No, short shorts. Yep.
Everyone, put your link.
I shall put the link in. Yep. Thank you.
Oliver says, I find it utterly ridiculous that executives of Madam Web movie point to superhero fatigue syndrome as the reason for the film's poor box office. Well, first of all, you'd have to have superheroes in it for that to apply.
Yeah.
So in order for you to for superhero fatigue to affect a movie, it has to be a movie about superheroes.
That's like somebody poisoning your drink, and then right after you drink, you're like, oh my god, they got poisoned. Does someone have the antidote? Please, won't somebody get the antidote?
Yep. That movie has nothing to do with superheroes. I mean, they're in there, I guess, but they're not in there. From what J-Man tells me, they never do anything.
That's crazy.
They're not heroic either. Of course. I don't know. Well, I'm really glad I didn't go see that crap. Madam Web.
Not even for the popcorn.
Is that true? She gets blinded and crippled at the end of the film by fireworks exploding underwater. You keep making stuff up, dude. Hey, shooter.
She fights with
Come
John.
on, R2. I don't believe.
Then she fights with John McClane. She comes right back at the end, and she gets shot by Reginald Bell Johnson.
Shooter. Good to see you. R2, you pull him a leg again. Come on now. Again, we all know the character initially was that, by the way, in the comics. And
yeah, an old lady too.
An old lady. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Well, no 50 Shades of Grey Part 3 for her then. Not a joke, I swear. I believe you. Wowzer.
Please, Mr. General, please put my daddy down.
Put my daddy down. The underwater bomber. Anyone remember? Another thing about that, because Chief here is apparently a Spider-Man fan. Why in the hell do we need Spider-Man villain movies? Or Spider-Man adjacent character movies at all?
Yeah.
We've got this one. We've had. I know they're calling it a Venomverse movie for some reason. Venom ain't no verse, okay? Venom's never going to be a verse. It had 2 movies that, I mean, didn't really do that great. I mean, no one really nobody talks about those movies. Morbius did terrible business. What's his face? Craven got pushed back a year. It's going to come out for some reason. I don't know, for like 5 minutes soon. That's ridiculous. And then you got, what is another one they're supposed to do? Well, you got this one now. Nobody needs that. Look, stop making movies about nothing characters. I get it. Once in a while, there comes a character that's not very well known and they hit it big. It's so difficult to make that happen.
And nobody got time for that.
Guardians of the Galaxy was a one-off. It happened because, and it's true. Nobody knew who they were. And they were very obscure. Other than only comic geeks knew who they were. And again, it just resonated with people because Gunn made a movie that with a lot of fun and characters that people liked. I mean, actually, hardcore fans of the comic, some of them didn't like it that much. But the Joe public loved it. But for the most part, it clicked on certain, it happened during the zenith of the popularity of the Marvel films, for one thing. Because there was no fatigue right then.
Who's this Joe Public you're talking about?
He does a show with us on Thursday night sometimes.
Joe Public.
So, but for the most part, It doesn't happen. Look, and we're way past the point where there's going to be a sleeper hit. No one cares. Even a good movie, even if it's a good movie, look at Guardians 3. It was all right. And it had name recognition of a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Good movie, and it's probably going to be
sort
a
of
home
there.
video of Kathleen Kennedy getting hit in the balls.
Yeah, well,
Guardians 3 was very successful at the box office. It made over, I think,
and still nobody
850.
talks about it like they did the other ones.
No,
all right.
no. I really liked it, but
I liked it, but
I think there is some superhero fatigue too, I guess. I mean, but it's a lot easier to be fatigued when the movies suck too, right? I mean, other than Guardians 3 and that Spider-Man No Way Home, or it's been a long time since they've had a big hit. There's many more flops than hits. So Marvel's Ant-Man Quantumania, big flop. So and Falcon as Captain America is not going to do. There's no way that's going to do well. It's not. I mean, there's just not the excitement for it. And I'm one of the people that they'll say, "Well, you're a phobe." It's like I bought all the Captain America Falcon as Cap comics and read them all. And let me tell you, they sucked. I mean, Cap as Falcon as Cap doesn't work. He should be Falcon. So
yes, sir, Bob.
So when was the last big? I guess I'm looking at the last big.
I'm secretly hoping that Stephen Colbert gets fired as host of the show and has to go back to doing Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Yeah, well, that's not. That's cool because he's a shitball. Don't like him either. Well. I guess we'll start moseying on out of here unless anyone's got anything else.
I had fun hanging out with you guys tonight. It was great hanging with you, Max. Yep.
Man, well, cool. I want to thank you for being here with us tonight. I want to thank the great Max Redstone, the music meister extraordinaire himself, for hanging with me. Talking about Superman 2. Yep. That was loads of fun, sir. We will do it again soon. We'll talk some Blake 7 eventually. Let's see here. Mark, what you got going on?
Well, the clubhouse, and of course, I'm trying to get some more videos out. I've been kind of slacking off as of late, and I'm trying to do that. Yeah, not doing. Yeah, I got some builds to finish, and I got some Temple Indiana Jones, Well of Souls. I got some cool stuff for the holidays, so I got to get back and trying to get back and doing a few more videos, and of course, looking forward to hanging out with you guys on Saturday Night Star Trek again. And we'll be back, of course, for Sunday Night Geekery at 10 p.m. Eastern, talking probably a little bit of Madam Web, even though I didn't see it. I guess probably talking about the reaction to that.
What you gonna say?
Bounding into Comics has an article that says casting of Pedro Pascal in Fantastic Four is as lazy as it is desperate.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. Well, that's the headline.
It's desperate. I mean, I don't know why
that's lazy as it is desperate.
Is it lazy? I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't see the point to casting it. So yeah, lazy, huh? Well, we shall see. We shall see. I mean, yeah, I'm not big on it one way or the other, but let's see here.
What do they have here? Newly leaked video suggests Disney's turn to politics was driven by Bob Iger's opposition to January 6th. We should be taking a stand. Of course, he's just saying that because Bob Chapek couldn't hide his heart medication.
Well, here we go. So
okay,
we do some show notes and some shout outs.
Yes.
Max, you don't have a channel, do you?
I do, but I'm not working on it right now.
You don't do anything with it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I will eventually.
If you ever do, we'll plug it for you. Yeah, sure. Let's see. What do we got going on with us today? Okay. Tomorrow night, folks. Where am I? Okay. That clubhouse is in session. Actually, before that, I should be on with Tom and the gang. at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time with Tom on Midnight's Edge After Dark. And let's see. The Clubhouse is in session. First episode of season 2. Now, season as all overall season. This is episode number 14. Redemption. We'll have a Blake 7 episode review. It'll be Redemption. Then, of course, Star Trek Untold Voyages comic review number 5 of that, and then all kind of other fun stuff with our wonderful first officer Raquel and the great Mark of the Sea.
I just got a great thought. Sorry to interrupt you, Clobby. We do the voiceovers for Zen in the voice of Al Pacino.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. You never know. It happened. Friday, I'll be over at the great Frank, covering Frank Miller again with the great Joey Man's channel. Fearless Fridays on his channel with G-Man and Sean. Frank Miller's classic Daredevil run, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after that, I'll probably be hanging out with the great 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser's channel, Nick and the Gang, the Friday Night Comic Shop Boys, talking some Friday Night Comics, of course, 8:30 Central Standard Time. And then, of course, Saturday Night Star Trek. Same Trek time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same Clobby channel. Talking some Trek. We're just starting season 5 of Star Trek. With 4 more scintillating episodes. And then Sunday night, we're going to have Geekery, aren't we?
Yes, we will. We shall be back.
On the great...
Not interrupted by the Taylor Swift Bowl this week.
Yes. The great Mark D with his Chief Engineer's channel, Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it might even be eerie knowing him. You never know. Could be. And then Monday night, I'll be back. I'll be back on J-Man's channel for our Legion of Superheroes reviews, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Looking forward to that. I love reviewing the Legion with my buddies. And then, of course, Monday night we'll be back. No, that's not Monday. That's anyway. I'll be back on Monday night for some Superman talk. It's Superman month. We'll figure out what we're going to do then. So until all that, of course. Does anybody else pop in? Oh, no. Okay. Any time travel? Well, I had time travel earlier. We were talking about a little bit of time travel on Superman 2, right? And then, what was it last night? What were we talking about? We were talking about some time. We were talking some time travel recently, Captain, but on a couple of different
was it
things.
Star Trek time travel, or was it? I'm trying to remember what it was.
Not exactly sure. Picasso, what's up? But
I
anyway,
can't remember that far back in time.
Yep. Well, let's give the shout outs, and we'll get a move on out of here.
Yep.
Of course. The great Eric K, Chris Persia, D. Bud Martin, Lord Thoth, J-Man, Maddie's Daddy, Stephen, Kalel, Buddy, Fanty Outsidery, Club Hungry Boy, some guy named Max Redstone. Never heard of him. Watch out for that guy. Worry. And with us in the chat tonight, I want to thank everybody for being here. Shooter, good to see you there, buddy. Picasso, Captain Von Doomfinity, Temperus Maximus. I know I was talking about some time travel. In fact, there was some time travel that I had for you. I think was it Saturday night? I can't remember now.
Did we get time travel on Voyager lately?
Wasn't there some time travel in the Voyager episode last week? Maybe.
Let me check.
I can't remember. Yeah, there was. Oh no! Oh, wait a minute. Boy, oh howdy! There's some time travel on next week. Let's see. The episode called "Timeless." That's time travel-y. Boy, that's timey-wimey there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Big time. Yeah, big time. Yep.
Yeah, but then there was
Future
also
Kim, right?
There was some weird time traveling stuff the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a big time travel episode. Also with us, Professor R2. Thank you for being here. Chief Shadow 1750. Thank you for being here. It's nice to meet you. Hope you'll come back and visit with us. Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend. Don Ranger Power. Good to see you, buddy. Oliver Belamonte, my friend, thank you. Putin's cat, thank you for being here. Sander Hammerslag, my friend, good to see you. RRT and Z, thank you so much for your great your contributions and your great conversations and stuff. We really appreciate you, man. Sean MNT, thank you. Stan Lee. There's more. I just got to get to him. I'll take a second to get to the ones I haven't yelled out yet, folks. So sorry, Larry, of course. Well, I know there's more. There's plenty more, by the way. I think Penny was here tonight. Penny, lovely Penny. In fact, no, Penny was here tonight. Happy Valentine's Day, my dear. The only lady that showed up tonight, and this is Ladies' Day too, so Ladies' Night that is, and the feeling's right. Come on, man. Taking me a while to get back to it, but I know there are more to shout out. We're not going to leave anybody out tonight. Not on Valentine's Day. We got to show how much we love you all. Minimus was here. Minimusness. Keely Chow. Roulette Keely Chow. Somebody's clicky click tonight. Somebody's clicking in the background. Hey, babe. Nope. It's Max.
Yeah.
Max is a clicker. Clickety click, clickety click. Let's see here. We know all about you, clicker people. Let's see. Your Muslim uncle. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you. Mrs. Flu, lovely. Oh, we did have another lady here. Love you, Mrs. Flu. Hail, shout out to the great Mr. Flu. Jamie Harbert. All right. Ravenscroft. All right. Let's see here. I think I had to head out though. Where are you? Almost getting there. JT Kirk. Oh, buddy. Had to run also. West Kegel. Adrian James. The great 17 Tex. What's up, brother? You had to run also, I believe, but to get the shout out, whether they're here or not, folks. That's how we roll up in you. Ironhide 84. Been a while, my friend. K. Roberts. All right. Now we're getting close to that point where Stuart Mitchell, by the way, where I may have gotten them all by now. I already said Son Lee, didn't I? I think I said Son Lee, but just in case, Son Lee. Oh, Me and My Monkey. What a name. I don't think I've seen Me and My Monkey in here before. You might touch my monkey. Oh, DJ Ronnie G. All right, now Marco.
Did you get everyone?
I'm gonna say. What do you think? I'm gonna say.
Remember to thank Turd Ferguson.
Who?
Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
No, you just made that up.
No, you gotta miss someone because you're not infallible, like
like Max.
So, like Max, yep. So,
Claude
Doom,
Selling.
If you were Dr. Doom, I would tell you you're 100%
Oh, yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Thankfully, you're Ben Grimm, so you're not gonna.
Claude Selling. Well, I could be perfect, Tommy. From Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah, no, she's not. Give her your coat. Why me? Because you're perfect. I love that movie.
And Raquel is number 1 on Amazon, which is awesome. Yep.
Yay, Raquel. Love you, Raquel. DJ Play Nice. See, I told you to get everybody else, and you wouldn't listen to me, would you? No, you just couldn't listen, could you? No. No ice cream for you tonight. Now I will render Kathleen One more time.
Time.
Joe Dog. I will take you home again, Kathleen Brogu, from my own hometown. FKH was here, I think. Yes, he was. He's always the first one here. What am I saying? Okay, so now I think I got them all. I did get them. Oh, yes. All right, except for Joan Hex, who always sneaks in at the end there, Joan. I see you. I got you this time, dude. You couldn't sneak in on me. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Really appreciate it. It's been fun. I want to thank again our great music meister, Max Redstone. Max, take a bow.
Yay.
I give you a yay thing, like a applause thing, but I don't have one. Would you prefer video instead?
Sure.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
Get those nerds! 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 What a double dumbass on you!
All right, everybody.
Mr. Gambini, what's a ute?
Mr. Gambini, what is a ute?
No, we got that one.
Excuse me. The two utes. I don't have that.
Two utes. The two
in the movie one.
Is it?
Movie and Tea Club. Yeah.
I'll go for it then.
The two utes.
Two what?
The two utes.
Two utes. All right, everybody.
Mr. Gambini, what's a ute?
Mr. Gambini.
All right.
Okie dokie, everybody. Well,
Brain and brain, what is brain?
well, good night. Have a pleasant tomorrow.
Oh, good night, Jonah Hex.
Good night, my friends.
Poker. You know the game? Is because you're a dumbass.
There's only one thing I want to say to you.
You're a dumbass.
Captain, I see no reason to stand here and be insulted.
Double dumbass on you!
Groovy.
I just love clobbering time.